What's going on? Another banger. It's Monday. You already know what time it is. No Frillz Podcast, episode 49, coming at you. The most electrifying duo in the FGC. I'm your boy Chris Matrix, the People's Commentator. You already know. And to the far left of me,
IFCYipeS, man. You already know what time it is. One half for the Road Dogs. Another No Frillz Podcast episode. That means it's another Monday, not only for us, but for you guys. And of course, we always have family, some beautiful guests here. And we have a beautiful gentleman here. What's up, man?
You know, you said beautiful, and I was like, I've been taking care of myself better,
Yeah, listen. I see that smile. I know it's positive vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, please give a warm welcome to the homie, Walter.
what's cracking, my brother?
I mean, there is some other names. There's some other names that we can't call you, but we're just gonna let the lore speak for itself. You know. But how you been, brother?
Yo, he's a dinosaur.
You know what? I am literally an FGC dinosaur.
Yes.
I think from my era, it's just like a handful, like on both hands you could count them left,
Mm-hmm.
And even then, my origins don't even start in this country. That's like the craziest part. So it's like
Well, shit, I'm gonna learn something. I definitely know he came off the boat for sure.
off the boat.
This is an off the boat kind of guy. He learned the proper English and all that. You could have fooled me. I'll tell you that.
His English was well, not good, well.
Yeah, you could have fooled me. I'm not gonna lie. When I first met you, Walter, I thought you had a little Italian on you. You have a little Italian tang swang.
You know what? I learned a lot of English from HBO. Of the crime series.
This real talk.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay.
That's kind of cool and scary.
Who said you can't learn anything from TV?
That's why if you ever dig up old archive footage of me, there's like a F-bomb every other word.
Yeah.
That is true.
I think I can still Goodfellas, Casinos, I know them line by line. So I can say all the lines by heart. I also have Star Wars, the Indiana Jones trilogy memorized, Conan the Barbarian, and the Destroyer memorized.
Yeah, you definitely got some quotables.
I like that, though. We're going to get to some Scorsese later on. We're going to get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Well, I learned something new today. Look at that. My man said, forget Rosetta Stone. Watch HBO.
Absolutely.
I mean, between that and Street Ball mixtapes, I was putting on Matrix earlier. Matrix was like, what do you know about that? I was like,
yo, my man Walter mentioned Soul in a Hole. I said, what you know about Soul in a Hole? Then we start singing Soul in the Hole. That's a classic. It's actually on YouTube, guys. Check it out. It's a story about Ed Booker Smith, New York legend. Wrong path again. Another unhappy ending, but that's how it goes.
One of the great PGs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I see you, man. Well, here at the No Frillz Podcast, Walter, we like to call this segment Humble Beginnings.
Humble Beginnings.
And,
in Walter's case, it might not be so humble.
It might not be so... Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, actually. Okay, but yeah, just before we even get into what you're doing now, by the way, you're doing a lot of amazing work for the FGC, just in the world of gaming in general, but we'll get to that a little later. But let's let the people know exactly where you came from. What was your origins? And this is before fighting games. Like, what was your first video game? Just let me know the beginning, man. Start from scratch.
Mm-hmm. I'm an old fart, so I go back deep. Legend of War is one of my earliest memories. Legends of War is an old Atari game. You gotta find one of those Atari collection classics to even see it anymore. No one cares about that game. But if we're talking about games I went deep on as a child and actually have one, this card in my house is Reggie Jackson Baseball Sega Master System.
Jesus
That's the Sega Master. I was just about to say, wasn't that on Sega Masters?
So me and my brother used to go to war with each other in Reggie Jackson Baseball. Matter of fact, I played that so much, I still remember that, they didn't have the license, so they used to you're the Milwaukee, and that was it. There was
no names. Just the city names.
And I remember, it's fictional characters, and I used to always talk smack to my brother, my boy Meeks, the number 4 in the lineup, home run every time. And if you're watching at home, you call my bluff on this. Look it up. Meeks plays on Milwaukee. He's number 4 in the lineup, and he's a guaranteed home run. Actually, I found a physics glitch when I was younger. You hold left when you buy the hit, guaranteed home run. Anyway, me and my brother used to go to war in this game nonstop. And then later on the Sega Genesis, he had Time of the Sword of Baseball.
Your brother was older?
My brother's older.
Okay.
4 years. Time of the Sword of Baseball. So,
okay.
We used to go to one of those 2 baseball games, and
Hold on, you was nice enough 4 years younger than your older brother to hang with him?
yeah.
Shh.
We used, no.
When you kids, 4 years is a big difference.
We was going to war. You don't understand. We was going to war. Every game was life or death.
I mean, that's what it is with siblings at the end of the day.
I know, but you know what I mean? I got 4 years with my little brother, and it was boss ass.
We grew up, when we were younger, we grew up, before my parents split, we grew up with some tough financials, Mm-hmm. To put it out there, right? Have you ever played like hanger basketball with like a balled up sock? You just take the hanger, you just make an arc.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
With the sock, you switch, you just hit the back of the door.
Me and my like doing that too. Me and my brother have gone to war. Like the little hanger, my mom come home. Like, what the hell? Where the hell the hangers at? They've been made some makeshift. That's why I see the crate challenge now. I was like, that's a basketball hoop.
Oh, yes. Go back.
It's crazy.
Play a ball on a crate on a block.
There's a meme going around, right? It says, this is my generation, this is your generation. And it was the crate basketball hoop, and then obviously the crate challenge on the other side. Which, by the way, you won't do the crate challenge, right, Chris?
Hell no.
Me neither. Thank God.
But yo, that shit has me crying, bro. I mean, literal tears.
I'll watch it all day.
Bro, the fact that they breaking rib cages and stuff like that, like you see how they land.
I was driving by somewhere and they were doing like the crate challenge, and I kind of like stopped and watched for a second. I saw someone fall and just kept it moving.
I would do the same. I'm not gonna lie. That's something that I haven't seen in person yet.
Me either.
But definitely a distraction.
I'm pretty sure it might make its way to an FGC event. Somehow, some way.
Not when I run.
I'm talking about even like outside or something like that.
Nope. I pay those insurance fees.
Yo, man, shout out to so don't do it in the facility, huh?
Not on the grounds.
On the grounds.
Okay, I run a proper event. We pay insurance.
It's crazy because they even have females stepping up. I'm like, yo, she's
I saw
crazy.
the one with the heels.
Yeah,
she did it though.
Yeah.
I was like, so props to that. I mean,
that's well balanced though. Like you saw the bending on the knees, like no shaking. You know when they get to the top and they start shaking. And shit, that's when they start getting bad.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, you watch those videos? I watch them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'd be more on the IG side of things. Cause that algorithm is crazy because it literally just follows rap and basketball on my end. So sometimes when I scroll somewhere, you'll see the crate challenge from here.
I click on, if someone picks up a new hobby and I click on like their video, the suggested videos underneath is just all that person's hobby. I remember, I forgot who it was. They were like picking up yo-yo tricks. And for like 2 weeks, I was just getting like yo-yo like trick video compilations. Like, I was good after the third one,
Yeah.
See, like I'm a fan of little shit like that. Like, yo, I used to love some yo-yos back in the day, man. When I was in a little bit of everything,
bro. When I first learned how to walk the dog, that was magical to me. I was like, yo, bro, this is really moving right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cool. The clock, the swing, like stuff like that. Yeah,
the tricks they do now is crazy.
Yeah, OD.
And the yo-yo, they sleep forever. Like they slumber. Like you go.
Yeah, man.
I first learned about yo-yos. I had a fixed axle one. Then one of my boys, he had a transaxle one. The ones that you throw them down and they sleep forever. I was like, yo, what is that? He unscrewed it with some. I was like, oh, stop.
I mean, I think everything now, like you're into something, you can find you look for it's out there, right? Like recently, so behind I am because I've been like so like on the grind for my own job. Like I've ignored my personal interest in hobbies until thanks to the pandemic. I've like been like, yo, I didn't know street ball YouTube was that crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty wild.
And the 3v3s. You watch Big 3?
I've been watching 3v3s again, only because I just watched the FIBA 3v3 Puerto Rico one.
Go ahead, flex.
But we didn't do so high in the Olympics. But I think 3v3 basketball is very exciting right now, only because one, you have the half court. It's a different set of strategies.
Throwback.
The pick and roll is not as dominant because you see a lot of perimeter shooting. But you see that a lot of the more that mid range, that 20-footers, because it's like that's how whatever. So it's like that's like a big interest of mine. Like is really just getting back into like that. I really had a huge passion for basketball when I was younger, from like a spectator perspective. I used to play. I ain't playing no more now, man. I got like a steel rod in my leg. I'm good, But just consuming that kind of content for right now for me is like a big deal. Actually, even if you watch the NBA And there's a lot of stuff for us to even work like in the fighting games, esports can like take up from a presentation perspective. Like they've gone to a whole other level from the production perspective. Like I think they pulled up like not Steph Curry. Who's the kid who plays on the Suns? I forgot it. Devin Booker. Yeah. So they're like, I think it was like after the quarter's done, they stopped the game. They pulled like the CG overlay and they had like the map of all his shot trajectories. Like, yo, that is wild. And it was actually pretty cool. But it's just like. And just like really just pivot off that briefly, right? Is that look at how much more money and influx they need to help create that additional content, so they don't have like that time, but then the person at home can easily catch up. I watched a game. I think I like tuned into the finals. You know, it's not to the finals like mad. I think like game 3, right? I learned all about Giannis in like like 5 minutes. I think there's like a little downtime, and I got hit with he's a good Samaritan. He does all this for the time. Like.
Loaded to the bone.
You know, they cut to the slides, all the content. They're like, damn, I think I watched for a bit. I just like opened up like my production. I was like, man, I got a lot to do. It's like I think I just went back to work because it's just like that's just kind of who I am. It's like I can't stop. I see someone doing something better than me. I'm like, oh no, I gotta step it up.
Well, speaking of a step in, let's continue with
the humble beginnings.
The humble beginnings. You know.
So it's like, you know, you want to talk about like first game. So before I did that hard pivot, like. And just most of my youth growing up is just like rivalry with my brother in games, because me and my brother used to like playing games a lot.
Same.
Right? So I think that's like a common story for a lot of people. And even with like, then you know, later on we moved to Puerto Rico, and I'm like playing with my cousins all the time. And when I'm in high school, Tekken 3 drops, right? Tekken 3 was like it was like that weird Tekken 3 drops. It's Tekken 3 then Marvel's Capcom. Yes, Tekken 3 Marvel's Capcom. And X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I remember like I used to like play hooky from school to play like X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Double Impact was actually really big in Puerto Rico, which is kind of crazy now that I think about it. I remember someone telling me like, yeah, you can link the 2 supers with Ibuki, like it was like some big deal. I was like, what? I was like, I don't believe you. But that's how it was back there. And it was like word of mouth, and like I was like now just kind of those memories, like, you know, it's like the arcade, like, oh, I gotta go to this one on a Thursday. That's where everyone's gonna be at. So like, you know, I'm growing up, you know, and Puerto Rico actually, a lot of towns have like a plaza. Like they call them a plaza, but they're like little strip malls. Yeah. Or like little outlet malls. You see, like they got the and most of those, and I want to say big shout outs to Time Out. Time Out held down Puerto Rico in the 90s, because Time Out is an arcade franchise. And these were basically in every single plaza in Puerto Rico. So you'd be in one town and you'd be like, yo, well, let's go to this other plaza. These dudes play Marvel there on Friday night. So if you're playing Marvel 2, actually, if you're playing Capcom vs. SK1 and Marvel 2, shout out to my homies out of San Patricio, because that used to be the place to go. That used to be the heavy competition. But if you're at the Third Strike, you had to go to Plaza La America, which was in San Juan, for Third Strike action. But then there was also really good action out in Plaza del Sol, which was out in Ponce, which is like a 90-minute trip. Island, boy. And then like I'm stuck in Caguas, because I'm from a town called Gurabo, and I'm like between 2 towns actually. And I used to go to the town next to me over Caguas. We used to play in Plaza Centro. We had an alright scene. We had players, but you know, then you know, someone would come from Plaza Sol, stomp us. Somebody would come from like San Juan, stomp us. Like, it is what it is, right? And you know, it was really different, right? I think it was at that time the games knew that there were like that big fun aspect of it, and it's like more communal, and then you have that big fun aspect of it, right? There's no streams, there's no VHS, there's no videos. And then I want to say this is I think this is like 1998, right? Marvel's Capcom 1 to 2, CVS 1. I don't think CVS 2 hasn't dropped yet, because that dropped when I was in the army. So I go to the army. I'm out in Alabama. Ugh. No offense to anyone in Alabama. I was in Dalesville, so if you're listening to this, I was in Dalesville, Alabama. Shit sucks. So I actually used to have to drive out to a town called Dothan. That was like 30-40 minutes away. They had a mall there, and I used to play in that arcade. Shout outs to the homie Raekwon. Out up in Montgomery. He used to come down and play, and there's a couple of people whose names I'm forgetting, like Eric Lee, Driz, Just a couple others that I forgot your name. Apologies. Just no offense. I have a lot going on, and we're talking about like something that was 19 years ago. So,
For real.
So I used to play with those dudes. Actually, I went to Fight Around 6. That's around 2002. And that's like, I think it was like at a rec center at the time. And we drove up to Atlanta. And you know what's crazy is like these guys now are spoiled. I can tell you this much. Like, I don't think they're gonna know what the, you know, you're like a state over. You find out a tournament's happening a state over. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna try. It ain't too bad. You have to then go to MapQuest. You have to print out the directions.
Yo, yes.
That's how it was back then. That's how it was back then.
Yeah, no, hold on. Before MapQuest, though, you had to freaking go ask somebody, like, what you gonna do? You're gonna go down this piece of road here. You're gonna make a right on Shepherd. Then you're gonna jump on a highway. You're gonna take for 2 extra. Boom, you gotta remember that shit.
Yeah, you remember we
Before
had
MapQuest.
MapQuest when we went to Caesar's Beatings. What year was that? 2009? I think we printed it out to go to Caesar's Beatings. That was 2009, and we had that printable from MapQuest, 100%.
Yeah, probably still at that time. Like MapQuest was still a thing. So
Who did we drive with? I drove to a Caesar's Meeting with you.
Yeah,
I know I only drove one time, and I was like, never again. I'm gonna fly from now on.
It was James, you, Mike. This is right when you was learning how to drive.
You was in that car?
Yeah.
When I was driving?
Yeah, Lincoln was in the back. It was Lincoln, me, Josh Wigfall. It was Doc. Doc Liston was there.
Yeah, that was a list. Damn, you was in there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. So I remember that story because that was the only time I drove from New York to Ohio. All the rest of the times I flew.
2009.
Yeah, but I remember they were taking turns driving. I had no license. I think I had my permit. No, I didn't even have my permit yet, right? But I did drive. So it was Random James's turn to drive. And shout out to Random James because that guy trusted me. It was like fresh crack in the morning, like 7. We coming home. James is supposed to be driving. Everybody's sleeping. James is like, Chris, you want to drive? I'm like, yeah. So I'm wide awake, 7 a.m. I'm like this, 10 and 2. I'm like this,
Yeah, hard.
I'm on the highway, like this, boom, right? So Mike wakes up. Mike doesn't see me, right? And then Mike looks around. Then he sees James in the passenger seat. He's like, where's Chris? And he's like, why is James not driving? So then he's like, where's Chris? Then he looks at me. He says, why is Chris driving? And I turned around like this. So I said,
now P game, right? So I didn't even had no clue that he actually drives. I wake up just to see what was going on, like in the midst of everything, and I just see Chris driving literally both hands like that.
Yes.
Wired, but I didn't even say nothing. I just woke up. I said. Then I looked at James and I saw he was knocked out.
I was going between 45 and 48. I was not going no faster, no slower. I was chilling like this, wide awake. I drove for like two hours straight. James woke up here. He's like, Chris, you good? All right, you good? Fell asleep. I'm like, that's trust. That's wild trust. Man, that's crazy that you said that. I can't believe you was in that car with us.
Yeah, I was in that car. That was 2009. That was when Justin played Daigo with Fei Long, and he lost that first to 10. I remember that was the exhibition. Yeah, I was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
It's the one that Schmidt didn't go. I was salty as hell. I ain't better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the car, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's and there's like still so much more. It's like, I'm like from there, I got out the army. I go live with my brother out in Colorado. Actually, before that, I like was up in Connecticut for a bit, but then I went to go live with my brother in Colorado. Shouts to True Tech. I think True Tech is still out there. He's still like doing work with this scene and stuff, and he streams. Just gonna promo my boy stream, right?
Okay. Love.
And King Lotier was out there. He's actually down in Texas now. He's doing voiceover work.
Nice.
He's doing well, right? I'm out there for a bit, and then I come back to like help my sister. I moved back to Connecticut, help my sister, right? I think that's around 2005. And then there, I'd already been back to Connecticut already. I made some friends there. And you guys know the usual suspects. Drew. Right?
Yeah, my man Drew. Shout out to Drew, bro.
You can't talk about like going to Connecticut. You're playing games in the early 2000s. And you can't mention, you got to mention Drew.
Go through those whole Connecticut cats.
We got to bring out the darkest shame of Connecticut, Dark Side Phil, right?
I was definitely around the time of that era of Dark Side Phil.
For what it's worth, I say that jokingly. I got no problems with Phil. Phil is like, that's whatever.
A lot of other people do, but I don't.
Yo,
you know what that sounds
Phil's
like? Their problem. That's not my problem.
Funny story, right? So there was one break tournament. I don't remember if it was ECC or like just a monthly or something like that. But I'm on a team tournament, and my teammate, I don't remember who the other one was. It was Darkside Phil, and he was our anchor. And you know, Darkside Phil, his main team was Santhrax. That was his best team. So we're playing whatever team Sanford was on, and Sanford had just beaten me. So then Phil had to get on, and he was like, you know, what should I pick? I'm like, yo, play Santhrax. Phil said, you want me to pick Santhrax on the guy who created Santhrax? I was like, bro,
lock in.
Play your team.
Lock in.
That's what you use. You don't use that. Then he used to mash like this. He used to do Hailstorms and mash like this. And me and Mike was like, yo, what is that? That's not mashing. What are you doing?
You know, Phil is there's something very interesting about Phil, right? There's the archetype player that he is, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that one's not discussed enough, right? People talk about like a technical, proficiently player, right? Or an execution guy or a guy. Then there's the people like Phil. People find people like Phil annoying, right? Because they punish you for your lack of knowledge in the game.
Yes.
Because
those assholes.
Because Phil,
they take advantage.
Phil's nickname, and I love it what Drew says it is Phil throw like hell burnout. And if you want, a definition of this, all you gotta do is watch that Evo where Phil made top 8, and he's just throwing the living shit out of people. Because I'm like, yeah, maybe in your little crew they used to let you get away with that little fucking like little tick. Nah, Phil is chucking you.
Is this this is 05? Evo 05?
I think so. Yeah.
He's one of those guys, man.
God. Fourth in the world, fourth best in the world.
Fourth best.
Damn, I was hearing that shit for a hot minute, boy.
And he won Evo East, so you guys gotta hold. Everyone's gotta hold that, right? But guess what? That's everyone's fault because he's punishing you for not hitting training mode, not knowing correct punishes. Mm-hmm. That's not safe, and you really. You see those kind of archetypes pop up now, but people mischaracterize those people as like, you know, trolls or whatever. Like, no, man, they're punishing you for your lack of knowledge in the game. Mm-hmm. And when in the arcade days, you used to see that a lot more. Used to see that a lot more in the arcade days. My boy Charbach, shout out to my homie Charbach. He said, because I do it now. I'm one of those now.
Oh God.
And he says I play with a quarter stealing 7-Eleven tactics.
Freaking chucker.
He says I use quarter stealing 7-Eleven tactics. He says I will hit you with something and then laugh, and then you get frustrated because I laughed. I hit you with it, and then it's like it's just the snowballs out of control. Mm-hmm. So, and I think in that aspect, a lot of people don't want to give Phil his props, but guess what? He's an Evo champion. 4th place, 4th best in the world, low 5, and he is a troll.
Put a Connecticut on his back, son.
Mm-hmm. Actually, there was that one year in B5 Connecticut. They did all right in Marvel 1. They won the team thing where they got second.
B5, that's before our time, brother.
Yeah, way before our time.
You said B5?
Let me dust the
bro.
Yeah. I wasn't with that
Evo 2K3 here, sir.
05 over here.
My man said B5? No.
B5, right? So, you know, I'm in Colorado, and then Colorado, I think I went to my first Evo. I went with True Tech, actually. We went out there. It's a fun time. And actually, that Evo, when I go there, even though I had ran tournaments before, that Evo, I had such and I'm not shitting on Evo, right? It's a thing of the times, right? I'm going for third strike. Yo, my pool is just like delayed. And by the time I get to my pool, I play my first match, and I lost like game 1, and then like the dude's like, yo, that's it. We're out of time. You're done. I'm like, that's it. Am I going to lose? Like, no, you're done. That was it.
That's crazy.
And then you want to know the craziest part is I went to Evo again the next year, and it was the same thing happened. I'm in like in the dead last pool, and it was like 1 game single elimination.
What the? 2 years in a row?
2 years in a row.
That's crazy.
But
hold on. Now, why were you in the dead last pool? Were you late?
No, I bridged.
Oh, you just okay.
It was just the way it happened. It was just the way.
That's crazy.
So, they do it in alphabetical order, right? At the time,
I think at the time it was like some weird stuff at the time, right? I played my Marvel match. It was my third strike match. I got screwed out of. Actually, in that tournament, I had to play Wigfall in the Marvel 2. I played Wigfall. I had to play. I think Wigfall played my Chaos, and it was me, Wigfall, my Chaos all in the same pool. I lost to Wigfall, and I forgot who else. But it was close. It was close though.
You use Team Scrub?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I gotta punish you. You know.
Damn, he know the law, huh?
I gotta punish you.
I don't know. Last time y'all met though, Chris kind of.
No, you talk about Wigfall. You play Wigfall.
Yeah, man. So it's always been something, right? And then it's these culmination of like these bad tournament experiences that are like eating at me. And as I feel like, I get there, I can't play well.
Word, that's crazy.
And then like even stuff I was going to locally in the area, it was like the same thing. I was like, you practice, you get there, and like I said, people need to be thankful for like the platforms and the technology we have now, right? People now don't know is that if you wanted to go to, let's say, a big regional event, you fucking got there. You got to show up early because you had to sign up.
Mm-hmm. You got to sign up for. Yes, that sign up line was out the door.
The sign up line was out the door.
Woo!
You got to wait for them to build brackets. You had to hope you heard when they called your name.
Oh my god, that was annoying.
Yeah, and you never knew when you had to play, so you couldn't leave, you couldn't come back, and obviously now, like, things are more organized. We know the average length of a match time. We know if we put 16 people in a pool, we have this many setups. It's gonna take this amount of time. So like the nuances of running a tournament is becoming more sophisticated. This is like knowledge has become more imparted upon people. Mm-hmm. But still, then we want to take it a step further because people are still having a bad time at a tournament. Right?
I was thinking about that too, and I feel like the next step, well, maybe not the next step, but the future. I feel like people are gonna have those pagers that you get, like when you like order food from like Shake Shack or something like that.
That's actually not a bad idea.
And then your joint vibrates when it's your turn.
I thought about that, believe it or not.
But that's a lot of pages you would have to have.
That's one problem, right? That's one problem, but it's more of a Wi-Fi networking thing. Because remember, when we go to most of these places, we're renting them, so there's infrastructure within the buildings we have to rely on.
Yeah, like what's with that? I noticed like for the most part, I feel like hotel Wi-Fi is always not the best.
It's not. I think you know what? I think it's well, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, Walter. I feel like it's because so many people's under one.
It's usually that's what
connection,
it is, right?
That's what slows it down.
So it's usually that's what it is. You know, you have to go. Do you want to finish the humble beginning, and I can break this down for you?
Go for it. We're chilling.
Actually, no. I think so because I want to make sure everyone in Connecticut though. I don't go to a barbecue back home. Like, you didn't mention me.
Type shit. Hey. Listen, the floor is yours to really remember who was there. You know, that is the fact.
No, because I can't leave on my big homie Rob Ponte. If you're in the Marvel 2 Facebook group, you see Rob Ponte all the time. Double War Machine, Marvel 1 Double War Machine. My homie Bill Addenbrook, one of my best friends ever. Always those two guys actually always looked out for me, so I can't. They're the generation before me.
Okay.
But when they looked out for me like in life, period. Mm-hmm. Not games. They looked out for me in life. So they made sure. Bill made sure I was put on a good path in IT. Rob always had good financial advice for me. And obviously that Rob was doing well. These motherfuckers do well too.
Mm-hmm.
The esports option wasn't a thing.
Wasn't present.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
no, it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
So I actually had a very well IT career. Before doing this full time. So, and it's obviously my old grand homies, Tony B. Cannot forget Tony B.
Tony.
Obviously people like Nerd Josh. I mean, other people, so on and so forth, etc. But it's like we're going back to your saying. It's like I'm having these continuous bad tournament experiences. I start running my own stuff in Connecticut. I start running the new Challenger joint.
Damn. So that's so because you had these bad experiences, you say, yo, fuck it, why not? I'm acquainted with my scene now. We all love each other. Let's get something going. And you put the best foot forward. Okay.
Actually, what's funny is that I am so old. I am so old. I crack jokes on myself, but I am so old. I have quit as a TO. And unretired and come back.
I was sick of it, but couldn't let go of the game.
No. It's funny. Actually, I was running stuff up to Street Fighter 4, the release.
Yeah.
Not nothing big. I was running weeklies, a monthly here and there. I was talking about places. And Street Fighter 4 came out. There's other TOs in Connecticut running stuff. I was like, I gotta do this no more. Other people in the scene are stepping up to take over, and that's actually what you want, right? You don't want to pin the community, especially on a local level. You don't want to pin that all on one person. You want other people to come up behind you and further expand that. And also, I want to enter the tournament myself. So, and then, unfortunately, due to a series of unfortunate events, everyone stops hosting tournaments. And I'm like, I guess I could come back, saddle up one more time, right? And then I create new challengers, and then new challengers starts to pop off, right? And in my eyes, like, you have like your weekly, like you have your monthly, you have your bigger monthly sometimes.
Regionals.
I'd say you can still do like a 2-day region. You know what I'm talking about? Back in the day, usually, someone's come from Pennsylvania. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know.
And
damn, it took me back.
So like I'm starting like I remember we were in like 200 to like 256 like Street Fighter 4 brackets. Like Street Fighter 4 was huge in Connecticut. And streaming was still new, so obviously I think my old YouTube channel still has like a ton of these old matches, right? And I had gifted trips to Evo.
Yes, you have.
I have done all that stuff. Actually, I was actually the original North America finale for Capcom Pro Tour the first year it ran. Big up to the homie Combo. He threw me on there at his last event.
Nice.
And I think the people that came up, I used to get like head-to-head cabinets that we had built, and we used to use them as setups.
That's I did.
And I think about it now, how crazy I am. I used to run these brackets in the overall event by myself. And some people would come help me, but I used to like run around like a madman. And then I was like, I would like end the weekend, then I'd pay the venue, pay everything. And I was doing that. I was doing well. And around that time, I was going down to Big E's tournaments, right? And I would help.
Shout out to Big E.
Always shouts to Big E, right? And Big E used to let me help him, right? And I meet the love of my life, Zach.
I know
Zach Catterman.
I mean Zach. Well, me and Zach don't start working immediately. He's actually doing other stuff for Eric. But I mean Zach actually through we meet at Big E events. We like really hang out at a tournament in Mass. We hang out all weekend. Zach becomes one of my best friends, but I'm nagging him from the start, from when I first meet him, like, yo, let's get together, let's run stuff, right? So Zach ain't having it. He ain't fucking listening to me, but I'm like
and there was a previous episode with Zach on it. Make sure you check it out. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 episodes before.
Probably like episode 44, 43, something like that, maybe.
But I am like a water drop on your forehead. I am persistent.
You are pretty persistent.
I am persistent.
You're pretty persistent. Not in a bad way, though.
But I nag them day and night. Right? And we eventually put together our company. And then, obviously I think Zach told parts of the story of like how we came to be and how we got involved with ECT, right? So I don't have to cover all that again, right? So, and then from ECT, we're also doing like other activations for other gaming companies, and like forgot Steamco and all this. Jesus.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Vape Nation. The Vape Nation, man. Y'all had me on ads talk about, you can get a free 30% off of your next purchase, and you just got me with the vape like that, looking like a model, like.
And that's when they hit. There was a wave of vaping and
around that time that was a pretty cool phase, and this is like around the time I tried to stop smoking cigarettes, and it kind of was working, but then
my man had the box. You was toting.
Oh yeah, I was doing tornadoes on the table, all types of shit. I was bugging, man.
Vape Nation indeed. You want to know a funny story where we talk about the Steamco? You want to know who's the #1 used code on the Steamco?
What?
Sanford Kelly.
Sanford fucking Kelly.
Stop.
Sanford Kelly.
Sanford would go to a tournament, and them sales like.
This one he was cooking too.
We used to joke that we could send Sanford to the moon. And we could send to a tournament on fucking Mars, and like the code would get like a 200% like usage increase. So actually, and I have to recant a little bit about that, right? That's me jumping steps. So shouts to Craig Keller.
Yes, sir.
Craig put me on to I almost left him out. Shame on me, right? So shout out to Craig. So Craig did put me on to one refining things, right? Because there's certain marketing aspects you have to understand when it comes to running an event. So one of and I have to be very carefully word this is not turned on me, is like when we talk about grassroots, right? And there is a very negative connotation with the grassroots and running on a negative or turning any kind of profit or breaking even, right? So a lot of time when you hear like people say grassroots versus corporate, they use it as kind of a negative, like saying like you're doing it for profit, right? But I will counter to that and say, did you not have a good time? Did everything not run efficiently? Were all the consoles not up to date? Was you got a little swag bag when you came in? Were there not some cool raffles? Was there not security? Was
you set up for a good show, man, a good experience?
Were you not well attended for it? Well, hundreds of hours go into planning, and people have to get involved. You know what? One of the worst scams I ever thought was like people volunteer to help run a tournament, and it's like they have to get, they get their entry refunded. And if you run a bracket on average, that's 2.5 to 3 hours, not counting the meeting you have beforehand. That could be 4 hours, and all you get back is your entry fee back. So it's like, obviously now it's become more a standardized practice. Now, am I saying that everyone cannot afford to pay bracket runners, right? Even something as small as that. And now we can touch on the hotel subject when it comes to Wi-Fi. Hotels on average will charge you like $5,000 for the internet.
Oh, for the weekend?
Oh yeah. No. Oh, that's for one line.
Wow. What you mean? So the one line that goes to the ballroom, like the main ballroom?
So let's say you are streaming Super Curly Extravaganza, right? So the Super Curly Invitation has Marvel 2, Marvel 3, and Marvel 1 for the old heads. And all these streams have to happen at the same time. Sometimes when they drop the line, they'll be like, okay, cool, you paid us the money. We could do a 5 meg line. It's gonna cost you $5,000 for the weekend, but the outlet's gonna come to right here.
Yeah.
Near the stage, and this is where you gotta set up. You're like, well, we're gonna set up a projector and a projection screen to the back. And you're like, I gotta call. They're gonna hit you with the. I gotta call the provider to do another 2 lines. It's gonna be like $10,000. That's gonna be 20. Oh, it depends where you're at. That could be $20,000. And if anyone thinks I'm kidding, I can show you some.
You got the receipts, huh?
I can show you some receipts. And then you'd be like, what? Are you kidding? And you're like, nope. And you're like, shit. And then guess what? If the internet goes down briefly during the hotel, there ain't no credit. There ain't no partial credit. There ain't no return.
Yeah. You gotta hold that. Yep.
You gotta hold that.
You gotta hold that.
You're hit.
Yep. I know that.
Pay at your own risk.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So you have that going on, right? So not to mention the biggest problem, like when people go to events, right? So one of the biggest thing a hotel will push on you, when we're talking about the schema and like money and all this stuff, they'll be like, cool, you can use that ballroom, we'll give you a discounted rate, but you gotta kind of get like, you gotta sell like 25 of these rooms minimum, and we'll hook you up a little discounted rate. And like 25 shouldn't be cool until you see that post underneath here. It's like, hey, there's a hotel across the street. It's like half rate. And, but guess what the hotel told you? Whether or not those 25 rooms sell, you paying for it, one way or the other. Damn. So either someone takes those rooms or you paying for those rooms, because that's how you're getting your discount. So there is like a little hotel microcosm that's going on, like all these components of it. And unfortunately, like even if we dial it further back, right, peeling it back before we even get to a room or to the internet, like ever since the unfortunate tragedy that happened in Jacksonville at the Madden event, security is now mandatory, right? So let me break that down.
Oh my God, you pay for security?
Of course. What?
Yeah.
OD.
Of course.
So depending on where you are in Stamford, Connecticut, where we run our event, we also pay for plainclothes. You guys don't see them. We pay for plainclothes, and we have to pay for the police. We have to pay for their hours. So we have police officers. We have private security that we hire. And you want us to wand them down? That's extra. You want the metal detector scanner?
Just to wand them down?
That's extra. So so it's Now we're already talking.
Cost to be the boss, man.
You know,
so now
for the internet and the metal detector, we're already in the 40-50 range. Now you have to have hotels will be like, oh cool, you guys doing all this shit here. Oh, you guys got insurance, right? Insurance is cheap, so that's not too bad, right? You got to pay the production team. Yeah, you can have one guy stream it. It ain't gonna be too hot. That guy's gonna get tired after one day. He gotta use the bathroom. He gotta eat. He needs a crew. Who's making these graphics? Who's working in social? Yo, what about? And then that's even before you come to your bracket runners. They got water. They got at least snacks. You got some crackers.
Yeah, we paying for catering too. I see you put some catering out there.
Oh yeah, So there's just like, it's like a list that goes on. You want to have merch? You want to have merch physically on site? Guess what? You got to buy that up front. You want to have something nice? You want to have something experimental? And there's levels to that. There is levels to every single aspect of what goes running running an event. What we have now is that now we have like the content creator tournaments, and I was actually just talking with somebody about that. And I was like, why do you like doing these more? And they're like, because it's a hype ass stream. They're right. They're home. The stream for them is the whole experience. I can't compete with that. It's so hard to compete with that, right?
That's true.
You want to be on
that's true.
You want to be on the big Leffen stream? I can't compete with that. You want to be on the big Yipes stream? Can't compete with that. We're ECT. ECT is a hype event. The key hype moments of the event happen at the event, like clutch comeback. Oh, these two, there's a storyline brewing between these two dudes they meet in bracket, right?
Yeah.
This guy says something about the other guy or gal about their play style, and now let's see what's what, right? A lot of that's very missing when you have a lot of the orgs turn to doing these online events. It's just really hard, right? Because we have to act now within certain confines. You can go ham. I can't go ham. You can talk. You can bring them on. You can let them talk reckless. It's whatever. I can't either, because then I want to work with somebody and they kind of bring that up.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So it's all tough, right? So it's like my incessant need of wanting to have like a tournament that I can enjoy, I can participate in, a tournament that I want to be at. Buy things that I would like, and I have right now. First, I have Zach. Unstoppable. That's my homie. We bounce. We gel off. We're both workaholics. We work hard. There's a lot of people that are working with us now, and Yipes tell you, you work with me once, and next thing I'm doing something, I bring you back in because you're already involved in the process. And the process gets better repeatedly.
Yes, it does.
He ain't lying.
Firsthand, I know. Yes,
he
it does.
Lying.
And the process, it's first time I'll do something, and I'll get my hands on it, and you could tell like I'm new to doing it, but I'm gonna just push through and do it. And then the second time I look at someone, I was like, okay, this is what I could have done better, and then we look to improve it, right? Sometimes things are out of my control, and it is what it is. I try to be as transparent as possible. One of the things that like I'm really big on improving, and it's just more for me, me and Zach, right?
Right.
Zach. Sorry, I looped you into this. I want to have an amazing merch collection.
And y'all have been pivoting over to that side, It's just like another thing to dominate, right?
And no, it has nothing to do with domination, right? Nothing to do with domination, right?
Well, in terms of just add it.
Yeah. Because listen, right? So here's something I noticed, and let me just get back over. Hello. So back and from the way I perceive things, right? And once again, I could be wrong. When we compare FGC to other esports.
Oh, that's good.
When we compare FGC, and that's such a broad term, right? But when we compare the overall fighting game community, and we're just gonna lump all the games together. And we look at how Counter-Strike, League of Legends, so on and so forth, etc. is doing things. Those circuits and whatnot are self-contained and fully owned by the developer publishers, with the exception of Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike lets third parties run their tournaments. And that ecosystem, the merchandise and the brands are the teams. The teams have to become very self-representative. They're like baseball sports. They're like baseball, basketball teams, right? And the FGC, the teams are not what's reflective. They're not what's the powerful brand. In our scene, the powerful brands are the events, and the events have their own regional tone and distinction. They speak in a different way about who they are, and you can actually tell a lot about event and like its scene and its soul and what it's thinking, right? If you look at like the pivoting we've done with East Coast Throwdown merch, right? So let's look back to 2016. You have that Joe's Watermelon T-shirt, right, with the Urian and the Nash fighting. That's a 14 color print shirt. That was like our first time making a shirt. We had some key art made. Very cool stuff. Very expensive lesson for us, right? Because the more colors on a shirt, the more intensive print process it is. And once again, at the time, it's not a COVID time, we're selling shirts on site, so you have to buy the shirt up front at cost, and then you sell them, right? If you break even, great. Not to mention, the tons we give off for free. The following year, Eric T, Big Eric.
Yeah,
I gotta do. Eric does the zombie Sagat Ryu cover art.
No shit, that was E.
That was him.
Okay.
Shout out to him. There was another shirt that we did not get finalized in time. Remember in Games of Thrones when the mountain crushes the dude's head?
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, you got spoiler there?
No.
So I could probably dig it up on my phone. But the second shirt that year was going to be Cell. And he's doing that to Android 16, like he's crushing his head just like that.
I like that.
Unfortunately, new to the game, new to learning how that works. It just doesn't get finalized. One of the things I'm learning in this process is how to. I keep saying I a lot. It's a we. I can never forget that. I'm not a singular working this by myself. I say I a lot. I'm learning to get better with that. It's a we. It's me and Zach. Okay, I'm not doing nothing in this space without Zach. So I'm sorry if I stop to reemphasize that. I need to.
Nah, that's love. Y'all a powerful duo. You're a representation.
I need to reemphasize that, right? So, so that's the shirt, right? We are learning to get better with out of request art. That crazy monstrosity for the hockey team in Philly. I forgot what it's called. It's like that big orange thing.
I know what you're talking about.
He looks like a crazy nightmare monster.
I'm done on that. You said hockey, I'm done.
So the guy who created that mascot makes the zombie monks T-shirt. Flyland Designs.
Okay.
And I actually like that shirt. That's a classic. One day we'll probably do like a nice like write up of like the history of the ECT art, because I feel like now that's like a big part of ECT is the key art. Because we go out, we get these extensive pieces done, and that we partner, I think, afterwards with Roadrunner Records. I shout out to everyone at Roadrunner.
Shout out to Roadrunner.
Shout out.
And then we get introduced to Leanne Plant, and Leanne does the cover art for Trivium, and she also does a lot of artwork for like Grateful Dead. And a lot of other bands and skate brands and other companies. She's an amazing artist. She's an amazing person. And we had like some, actually, before I get to the art she made that year, our previous art, we had asked her for art for a proposal art for her. I kind of wish, to this day, I wish we got the art she was wanted to make us that year. It was like a crazy like Raiden in a thundercloud and Joe was underneath.
Okay.
It was gonna look wild, but it was like at the time I was like, she wanted like more money than we had, but she's worth every penny. So we get with Leanne. Leanne makes the this is the demon. Yeah, she makes the demon, which is the one you guys saw. The demon, the big arch.
On the hoodie, and
the big arch. And then this year, obviously, she have her again with the lady at the pit. With the tribute to the multiple like female characters, and we're also still keeping the arch theme. And if you guys actually look at both arts for like we had the demon the year before, there's like a lot of references to fighting games like buried as runes, because like a gateway, the demon's guarding it, right? And then this year you can still see it within the character itself, has references to like Milia.
Yeah, I see now. That's fire.
Has references to Manat, has references to Sindel, has references to Poison, and it's like all there, right? And one of the big things is that we're doing this to like stand out and be like very involved in our art from like that perspective, and that like and you guys saw it last year, is that the art goes into now then every piece of the merchandise. So if you guys cop the windbreaker, which I know a lot of people didn't, I'm glad they like it. I think I do so many like little follow-ups with people. Like they'll take a picture and they're wearing it, and I'm like, and I don't want to put no one on blast for this, right? So I was talking to somebody. He's a big guy like myself, and he got the zip up, and I have like this long chat with him. Like, yo, how do you like it? How does it fit? You feeling good? Is it comfy? You can move your arms around.
right.
And he's like, I love it, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's like, thank you for following up. Like, great. Usually a lot of these people, when I'm working on stuff for the following year or for the stuff for this year, I'll ask them like, hey, what do you think of these mock-ups? You know, we have
consistent, fresh, you know. Got you, man. Sometimes I know, especially with merchandise, you don't want to repeat anything.
No.
You know, so.
No, I mean, I think Zach, if you guys are to get Zach on board, you can tell him how nervous we were. And shout outs to Rick. Rick is the kind of part of the Council of Fashion, I guess, right?
Rick is big on the detail when it comes
Rick
to.
Rick is huge on the detail, right?
Merchandise, yeah, for
sure.
So
last year, the biggest thing was that hot pink hoodie, embroidered death metal lettering on it, right? It says East Coast around. Looks like a mouth, actually, if you look at it, right?
Yeah, cool. I remember that one, yeah.
Shout outs to Drew Wynn, you know, Drew Face. Drew did the lettering for that. So yeah, I got everyone involved, right?
Yeah.
And originally the option for that shirt was an electric blue. For that hoodie, I'm sorry, it was an electric blue.
That would have been fire, actually.
Or it was that hot neon pink.
Damn, y'all couldn't get some like limited edition electric blue. That was fun.
We never know. We might bring it back, right? So we're thinking about it, and then I apologize because I cannot remember. But someone was just like, yo, the hot neon pink is the wave. And I'm like, you sure about that?
I thought that was just a straight up. I 100% thought that was like a straight up shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh well, yeah, it's a tribute piece.
Tribute for sure.
It's but when, you know, a lot of things that don't start out like that.
Yeah.
But you know, but that's what that person. I cannot remember. I think that's they're like, yo, Joe's pink. Joe is pink. Do it. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I was like, I was like telling Zach, and like, you know, my stomach is doing knots. I'm like, oh man, I don't think. But you know, a lot of people bought it. It sold out actually. It's did really good. You know, there's some lessons learned, right? Mm-hmm. You know, with the camo hoodie, a lot of people like the camo hoodie. The camo joggers.
I like the camo hoodie.
Camo joggers are there's some things there, and I'm always looking to improve, right? Like no two body, you know, types are the same. You know, we had like 3 hoodies last year. Mm-hmm. We had the camo hoodie, we have a zip up art hoodie, we have that hot pink hoodie. It's like, damn, do I really need all these? Oh, and we had a windbreaker.
Yeah, nice little collection, man. I'm not gonna lie. We're looking there, and you definitely had a good catalog. I'm not even gonna lie. From the windbreakers to the joggers. I got the joggers right now in the office, you know, just in case if you get too cold in here. Yo, but let me ask you a question, right? You're on the TO side of things. Well, even beyond that, you know, you got a lot of partners. We don't gotta say no names for real. But you definitely are knee deep into the shit of developing pretty much the East Coast scene, really, well, the world. But I know you got your heart set for something bigger out here. But one thing that I wanted to ask you, right, and this is, you know, clarify for me, because I'm still trying to find out the actual definition of this. Maybe you guys are probably gonna look at this and gonna be like, man, you serious? I've been in the game, blah blah. What do you feel like is the definition of esports, man? I don't want to drag this along, you know, especially since now that you've been on the side of things and seeing it, like. Break it down for me, Matrix. I don't know if you want to know as well. I don't know if you have like a pure definition of it. I actually don't. I just see gaming for what it is.
It is what it is, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is what it is. I think people I think people now in the FGC right now are like trying to use that word as like some sort of negative.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, shut up.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I had when it came to the scene coming up, especially how we built it, I'm pretty prideful about it. You know what I'm saying? It's especially of like how we set the tone, for example. Like
it's really no different. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's really no different. You think Counter-Strike popped up overnight? Yo, dudes was out hauling like PC desktops to places, you know,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
stuff.
Man.
Like these guys. I mean, right? And I think actually, you know what's the subject we really need to talk on? And it's not esports FGC. What we need to really talk about is financial disparities. And I think that's what you really want to hit on.
Talk to us.
And I'm gonna really talk to you guys now. I think that's what you really want to hit
Well,
on.
also because like the whole thing with esports, at least one of the definitions to me, it just meant okay, regulations on like the natural
This
order.
dude talking to me about regulations.
No. In terms of like
to the people at home, this is the guy that used to run up to your console when they're blue screened in Marvel 2. He trying to talk to me about regulations. He's one of the starters of it in the scene. Like, hold up. I plug y'all back in.
No. There's a difference in having a little bit of order and regulations.
There's a difference.
There's a difference having a little bit of order. You gotta have a little bit of order and regulation in terms of like any monthly in CF where everybody came down. You have New York, you got PA, you got Connecticut,
Boston,
you got Jersey, you got Boston.
People at Boston used to make that trek, yo.
5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, shoot.
Phoenix.
Yeah. You know how the environment was, right? Physically and community-wise.
Oh, okay. You want to talk on that?
And then versus.
You want to talk on that? Okay.
That's what I
get what you.
And then versus.
I get
Esports comes in and then. No, it's. I'm not against esports.
No.
That's not what I'm trying to say, right?
I get what. No. I know what you.
No, but let me tell the people.
Tell people.
So then esports comes and. It's not a bad thing. It's a progression of where we want it to go, right? But at the same time, people just don't want to lose themselves and lose, that authenticity of the fighting game community, which is the people that make up the community.
Ding ding.
That is the fighting game community, the people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Any like you could say like street ball versus regulation basketball. It's the same thing.
I got a Voltron sword this monster right now, okay?
Let me see some form.
So so right, so let's talk about authenticity, right? And there's a huge misconception here, right? And this actually really touches on what I wanted to talk about, which is financial disparity. They both go hand in hand.
Yeah.
The big arcade centers are located within major metro urban areas, right? And they're become the powerhouses. LA, New York City, like Houston, Dallas had something, Chicago.
Yeah.
These guys have giant urban centers, right? Of course, who goes to a fucking arcade?
Kids.
Not only kids, but people who can only afford to play games a quarter at a time. Of course it's a more hostile. You're putting your money up every time you want to play. Mm-hmm. You're not putting your money up now. The kids that people want that level of rough. Sometimes people also forget that arcades used to be like a shelter for people who had nowhere else to go.
That's facts. 100%.
There's a lot more into arcade culture than this whole huff tough, puff my chest out. There was so much more going on. For a lot of people, it was the only place they had to go. People forget that for the most part, when we're up in the arcade, we were outcasts for the most part. We weren't exactly the wave that was going on. We were the outliers, right? The big nerd culture is big now. It wasn't back then, and that weird infusion of,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
The urban infusion into nerd culture, right? Mm-hmm. And that happens in these areas, right? And obviously,
look at that. Just the fact that you had to stop and pause and find how you're supposed to say it. That goes to show the difference. You know what I mean? If we were chilling in a room, you could just speak freely. You ain't gonna pause.
No. And I think there's some other topics that are going on here, right? Because, right, think about it. What happens? Look at the color of the people that are in the room when we talk about the arcade culture of the day and the game that was going on. They act like we was going out to fucking shoot each other after the shit was over. Mm-hmm. That's not what was happening.
Yeah.
And that's
we was like break dances.
And pretty much, And I've done that too. But like, a lot of times people misunderstand some of the rough euphemism or the rough language that was done versus that was held once against one another. We were younger. We were in I'm not gonna say a tougher time. That's not really the case, but there's a bit of lack of education, and a lot of it was like, young bravado, people not knowing how to communicate properly, and not knowing how to express themselves. And that's really that. A lot of people are looking for something that's not really there. They think it was the Wild West. They're looking for gun duels. That wasn't a real thing.
No, but
yes,
but at the same time, it's like when the newer people come into the community that weren't a part of that life, you know what I mean, and they're a certain way, and it almost seems like it, it's the past traditions are being lost.
Let me ask you a question. You think anyone's rite of passage should be the Friday night heckle squad on the big cab in Marvel 2?
Don't ask me that.
I don't got an answer.
Don't ask me that, man.
Well, I got many answers.
You gonna ask me that?
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. No, long gone are the days of when the person has to commute to. Look at it before. I used to have to take the Metro North to Grand Central to take the 4 and then walk my big brown butt all the way down to Mott Street to then wait like 45 minutes to play like the tensest Marvel 2 game of my life, and I had to hear the heckle squad behind me the whole time. And you want to be honest with yourself, it's like, you think about it now. There is no longer a need for a person to have to commute 2.5 hours to come play a game. They can now play in their house, and they can now share information freely, because the way I find out that Tron's assist in Marvel 2 doesn't scale when you get hit is getting hit with it and then losing my money and having to wait 2 hours again.
Hold that.
Now,
and you are 100% right, but you know what? That is a life experience, and that is why you are who you are.
That's why you
can't ever take that away.
And that's what you
because you did that. You hear what this man just said?
That's true.
Tell him your commute again. Tell him your commute again. Tell him what you did.
Oh man, that commute was brutal, man. It was like, I used to have to take the Metro North, and that was from Bridgeport to Grand Central, like 90 minutes, and then. By the way,
another train.
By the way, I had to figure this out, and this was not an easy thing at the time because MapQuest did not do
no Google Map, no Waze,
did not do Subway.
No Waze. You gotta ask the conductor. You gotta be like, okay, listen, I'm trying to get to Mott Street. Okay, so what you want to do? You want to take this train. You want to get off at 14th Street. You want to catch the 6th train local across the platform. Once you're going to get off at Canal Street. You're going to walk up 2 blocks. You're going to make a right, then another left. Then you get off the train. You got to ask another person.
Drew was the one who taught me how to get to CF by train.
Yo, you want to know what's crazy? So like that he's bringing me back in terms of like people's commutes and stuff. So like I remember I asked you with CF. I was like, hey man, where you from?
Oh, you thought I lived in New York?
Huh?
You thought I lived in New York?
Yes. Originally I thought it was, and obviously I thought he was from the hood because you know what I'm saying. In the way people carry themselves at the time. You feel me? So I'm thinking, oh, he's from New York somewhere. I thought you was from the Bronx. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought you was from the Bronx. He was like, yeah.
I mean, I know him through. That's what used to take me up to Connecticut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold on. So
that's what used to.
So he would come. He was like, "Nah, I'm from Connecticut," and I was like, "What?" And then I knew you was Puerto Rican. I got that right. You know what I mean? Especially like the way you was sounding at the time. But yeah. So freaking that would actually shock me. I'm like, damn, you came all the way over here from Connecticut. Now me thinking obviously it's a small world for me because all I know is the hood. You know what I mean? I wasn't traveling nowhere, and if I did travel, I went to freaking Toronto with my parents to see the freaking. No, not even Buffalo, to see the Niagara Falls. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that was like the farthest I went. Besides going like to DR, of course. You know what I mean? But like I see people like, oh, you came from Connecticut? Like where? Like I remember Video came from Detroit, bro.
Yes, he did.
Yes. This man drove from Detroit to Chinatown Fair to play.
Oh, that man has no problem driving long distances.
That's crazy. When I say I was like, Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm coming down to see you Friday night. I was like, I'll be there in about 15. I'm like, okay.
Video's a real one.
What? What a guy.
So thing is, right? To continue on what we were talking about in terms of that, like, so it's a good progression for the community, obviously,
it's
right?
It's a great progression, but I think here's the problem is, right? What the authenticity you guys are looking for is you guys are clamoring for that will to win. You guys are still clamoring for guys to have the same desire to retain their 50 cents that they put into the cab as when they play now. And I think that's one, it's still there. It's not going to be the same because that environment no longer exists.
No longer.
We are not elbow to elbow anymore. There's no need for us to still, there's still no need.
Somebody had to go
By the
forward.
way-
The
by the way,
other person
for
played
you
behind.
guys, for you guys at home, let's say, the buttons are like this. They're straight ahead. But we got two big bodies at an angle.
Yep.
And the Walter technique is to get the elbow underneath and to jab you right here.
Man, I see you in the smoke cast. I'm like, man, I got next.
So you know what though? So it's and like I try, we sometimes make this comparison too, right?
Okay.
But so if you look in terms of the FGC made a change for the better, you know what I mean? And things are different now. They're not worse, they're not necessarily better, but things are different. But what's come out of it is definitely better. But when you look at like battle rap, battle rap never lost that authenticity. You know what I mean?
Let me get back to this because I wasn't done, and I know where you're going.
You know what I mean? Like
I wasn't done.
Battle rap was just
So,
DVDs and dudes in the corner,
Stop.
and now it's mainstream, and it is still just as raw.
Stop. Right? You know what's the difference now? Where was the original major East Coast tournament held? ECC.
Yep.
Where was it held?
Jersey.
What's in Dunedin? The break. What is the break?
An arcade.
An arcade. You no longer have the need for an arcade to run a tournament.
No.
We don't gotta push across, $2,000, dollar arcade cabinets. We don't need those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those big urban centers are now depowered and deplatformed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a console at home. Everyone has the game.
Okay.
Everyone has easy access to it. I could look up a Brian F. Balrog video and know how to do a punish instantly. Maybe not so instantly, but I gotta watch it a couple times.
But I catch the drift. You got the info.
The information sharing is now at a whole other level. Everyone now has easy access. Everyone has easy access to competition. That will to win is still there. What you guys are looking for is the environment. That environment no longer exists because the environment that exists now is 100 times stronger.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, in terms of what? In terms of the competition?
Hold on.
Wait.
That exact. Go.
You mean in terms of competition?
Yes. Before it was a lake. Okay, and people were content to be the big fish in the lake. Now it's an ocean.
I'm gonna have to
And there's
disagree
schools-
with
Go
you
ahead,
right there,
Go
my
ahead, baby.
friend.
Listen, and there's schools of fish.
I
There's
don't
schools of
think-
fish, but the sharks still exist.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there because it's not that the level of competition is better now. The games are softer now and easier
The
now.
games are softer.
They're easier now.
I would argue a game that I could guard break you on incoming and kill you is an easier game.
Which is that? Marvel 2?
As opposed to what?
If the games were so easy, how come
They're easier than they were for. That's why you have so many.
If the games are easier,
Yeah.
why is it we're still seeing some of the same dudes that are winning when we were in our 20s are still winning now?
But you see, Walter, you gonna make me look like the bad guy.
No,
I'll get vilified.
Go ahead,
I will
baby.
get vilified.
Listen.
I'm not gonna-
When Yipes was playing Marvel 3, Yipes was still like getting top results, and he was barely practicing. Okay.
Yipes was getting top results, but Yipes was better than 95% of the people, and even people he was losing to, he was better than them.
Yeah, I don't understand when you guys say the games are easier. The games easier how?
Because they are easier for players to be able to be on the what?
Pick a game.
You just said it.
Well, Marvel 2?
3.
Marvel 3 is just as bad as 2. Zoop.
Wait. Hold. Time out. My brother. Oh, my man.
Yo, you sure we know this guy? Hold on, you sure? Wait.
I just stirred the pot. No.
Yeah.
All right.
In general, the games are created easier. You don't gotta worry. Even look at Street Fighter. There's no more links. People not from even 4, and that was a more recent version. From 4 to 5, there's no more one frame links, no more timing issues, stuff like that. You know what I mean? They got freaking V-Trigger OD comeback mechanics. It's easier for people to play these games at a high level. I'm not gonna say.
Did you forget about like custom combos, like Aism, Vism,
I mean, that
was
bullshit.
Wait. You talking about Alpha?
Alpha 2.
No. Let's talk about the mainstream games of the era. Like it was CVS 2.
Alpha 3. Alpha 3 is a huge
bestseller. No. On a big stage, the top of Evo, like it was Marvel 2, CVS 2, SP, Third Strike,
Tekken, whichever Tekken.
The Alphas wasn't.
Did he forget about? Okay. Did he forget about Kami Blanca Saga C Groove, Kami Blanca Saga K Groove, Sakura Bison Blanca?
Listen, okay. Fuck that shit up a little bit.
But the players were still godlike in terms of fundamentals. The new players,
most of those guys are still winning now. Daigo was winning then. He's still
but now it's harder for them to dominate. Daigo was the beast. Now he's beatable. America has bridged the gap against Japan in Street Fighter.
You think that's because of the game, or because
yes,
information sharing is a lot more proficient?
No, it's because of the game.
We can make that argument.
It's an argument to be had. Dude, but did America really bridge the gap between Japan and Street Fighter games?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you
Walter,
guys are kidding yourselves.
No. I'm sorry. No.
You guys are kidding yourselves. Listen.
No.
Listen, the young overtakes the old. That's the way it is.
I mean, naturally, yes. Yes.
And first off, right? Information sharing is now at a whole other level, right? People now share information. You could easily look on YouTube, find information. Actually, like frame data, so on and so forth, etc., is readily available. Now, if you're mad because developers didn't include that information before, and we used to have to pay $100 and wait a month for the book to come from Japan.
Hold on.
The frame data.
Hold on. I would be inclined to agree with you, my friend. But Street Fighter 4, all of that was readily available. All of that. Yeah. We're looking at frame data, hitboxes, we had videos, option select techniques, tutorial, all of that was available. And the difference in America and Japan was still that great.
Yeah,
Street Fighter 5 hit.
Wait.
There was 8 frames lag. Hold on.
Go ahead, baby.
8 frames lag. It started out with 8 frames lag. Hard to whiff punish. The term wish punish came out. So what did that do? That took away a very fundamental skill part of Street Fighter eternally, which is footsies. A lot of people will argue Street Fighter 5 didn't have footsies when it first dropped, right?
Right.
Wish punishes. Then you had OD comeback mechanics with freaking V-trigger. Now, I'm not going to say having an Ultra wasn't a comeback mechanic, but these V-triggers, we got something new now that people are getting robbed. That's a thing now. Getting robbed. People are outplaying to get robbed at the end. That is a major thing going on in games in general these days. With the exception of Dragon Ball, I don't think there's too much robbery.
Well, Street Fighter 5 now, it did age to the point where people can't deal with V-triggers.
Now, yes, but it took a while.
It took a while.
It took a very much while.
Because now in a professional sense, in terms of like the top player, like if they hear that, they're probably going to be inclined to agree with you a little bit, but at the same time, they're going to look at that as an excuse.
Naturally. I mean, and that's fair too. But I've heard, this is the first time I've really heard Tekken players complaining about their game.
I have heard, yes.
I don't usually hear, to me, like in my era, like Tekken has always probably been, I would say, like one of the most difficult and non-fraudulent type of games. Tekken. But now Tekken players are starting to complain a little bit. And lo and behold, they really changed this one up a lot.
I don't know, man. Sounds like a personal problem for a lot of people. Sounds like
Yo, Walt, I'm gonna say this. Walt, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? The old school players can play the new school games and be good. There's probably a very few new school players that will be able to pick up an old game and be able to compete.
All right, so let me ask you this.
You disagree with that? Hold on, wait. Hold on. I got him on the spot. You disagree with that?
Shit.
Yeah.
You disagree? So you think the new school players can come to the old school games and be good?
Yeah. Our games are solved for the most part.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. You can actually.
So let's have Punk play CVS 2.
Punk doesn't give two fucks about playing CVS 2.
Let's see if he can play CVS 2.
It's not a question of one, and this is the part that's being missed out here, right? It's not a question.
Nothing against Punk. You got like.
Yeah.
But I just know you're part of the newer generation.
But here's the thing you're missing here. There is no desire and or interest or wants for them to go back and play CVS 2.
That is true.
You want to play the new game.
I will say this though. Hold on. Let me piggyback on what you said. I will say this though, Walter. some of these new guys, they did come out the woodwork and say if they was in that era where we was at.
Oh, say their name. Say their name.
Things would look.
I already know who you're talking about. Say his name.
Pumpkin Sonic was one of those, two of those people. Yeah, I throw those names out there. Pumpkin Sonic was two of those people. Now, mind you, this ain't even a stir the pot. You know, Sonic very competitive. Punk very competitive. Sonic said he could play MSP and wash everybody.
Listen,
right? He said if there was a point in time where like he could take the game serious, he would play MSP and wash me.
Well, first off, that's impossible. And I'm gonna actually explain to that why, because it's not impossible. It's like 98% unlikely chance to happen is because at this point there's nothing you haven't seen in the game. For starters, right? And then two, that game is very reaction based. As to
really,
that game's very reaction based.
Excuse me, let me rephrase.
No. You're correct.
I mean, you're seeing a lot of the scenarios. There's no new scenario he's gonna put you in that you haven't seen, and you've probably been you've already been that scenario thousands of times.
And you know what's crazy too? Just to add on to shout out to my man Phenom. He was one of those dudes that actually bring that conversation to the table. I forgot what event we was in. But you know, Phenom, he was like, with all the information that we have now, you don't think that we'll be great Marvel 2 players? And I said, you guys will have an understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
But you actually have to go through the motions, like years of motions. Now, obviously, you could probably cut it down the middle a little bit because you do have access to that information now. But you still, at the end of the day, need to have that raw experience.
Yeah. And also, what I think a major part of what separates the newer games from the older games in terms of skill is, I feel like the older games were more like athletic sports where you have to put in the work to get certain levels of execution where you don't have to in the newer age games, because the things are just generally easier to do than back then.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it, but you cannot disregard the fact that that it requires more skill, whether that be technical hands-on skill, more skill on the games back then, because not only you can have the ideas, you can know what to do, but you got to be able to put it in motion.
I understand what you're saying. You want the execution.
Yeah,
right?
a coach is one of the smartest players in the basketball game, right? But is Pop out there playing basketball, or is Tim Duncan executing that? He's kissing it off the glass consistently. He has his back to the basket game. You know what I mean? So listen. The new school games, yes, the ideas are there, and listen, the top players are brilliant at creating those ideas and recognizing those ideas and everything like that. But then, that's the mind. But then you got to have the body, and back then you had the mind, you had to have the mind and the body.
Listen,
it's a difference.
You sound like fucking Al Bundy to me,
I
threw 4 touchdowns. I
was scored 4 touchdowns in one game. I was fuck
That's all I'm hearing. I threw 4 touchdowns in that game, right?
Okay, listen, but it's still the games were still more difficult back then.
Then why aren't you dominating now?
I don't play anything.
Oh, why's that?
I'm a grown man, and I got other things.
Oh, so your wants and desires to be a dominant player have faded?
No. No. Listen. Trying to
tug that
listen.
Boy.
No, you're not gonna get me, brother.
I'm gonna get you.
There's no game currently that I had a genuine passion for, like Marvel 2.
Now, it's great that you bring that up. So you expect the person that's come up now to play a game?
No, I don't expect them to do that. No.
To have the wants and desires to travel back in time.
I never said that. That's not what I'm asking at all. That's not what I'm asking.
Find out Marvel 2
trying to hit you with the Jedi.
You're not gonna get me, Walter.
You guys want Punk and Sonic to hop back in time, play Marvel 2?
I don't want them to do that because they're not going to succeed doing that. They're not going to succeed doing that. That's just the hard truth. And whatever. They're not going to succeed.
Because they don't want it. They don't want it.
They're not going to succeed doing that. It's different.
If Sonic or Punk, if they really wanted it, they take it. But they don't want it because there's no prize.
No, they wouldn't. Because I can tell you now. Look, the difference is back then, right? Look. Back then, you can't use me, right? Because I was never a champion. I was never on a certain level as like, Justin Wong or Ricky Ortiz or something like that. But you see how Justin and Ricky had success in the newer games still.
Because they want it.
But the caliber of player is different.
Because they want it. You damn right the caliber player is different, and I think that's the part is that the crazy part that drives me nuts here is that you say it, but you don't want to give them the same props. If Punk,
I give them the props.
If Punk and Fox were back in the Marvel 2 CV, there'd be another person I see getting off the Greyhound bus in front of the arcade, like God fucking damn it.
No, wait. No, exactly. No, what you said, right? If they were there already, and like iron sharpens iron. If they were there already going through the woes, then that's different.
That is different,
differently, but they're not. So someone from here can come to here and have success, whereas someone here, the numbers are going to be greatly reduced for them to come here and have success because they don't have that original skill.
I think that actually, in all honesty, I think that's only going to apply in this case to Marvel 2 and 1 because they have a lot of very...
Third Strike 2? Third Strike 2?
So Marvel 2, Marvel 1.
Third Strike, CVS? Third Strike, CVS? Yes.
CVS 2.
Yes.
I think that's I think the power of A Groove can carry them very far, as well as K Groove as well. And not trying to delineate, but there's games and communities that they can access the resources and competitives to online, and they can very easily and quickly catch up.
ST.
This especially ST, right? And this is the hurdle with Marvel 2. There is no good emulation of it. The online play, even on PS3, Xbox 360 is not perfect with a very smaller dwindling
scene. Get a Dreamcast, man.
If you want to play, he talks about the Dreamcast. You want to play with the New York Killers, you got to be part of that group. They ain't just gonna let you in to play.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Where's my invite?
That's not true.
What
are you talking about? What are you talking about?
We always tell you to come.
Yeah.
What a freaking jerk.
Get out of here. Don't
listen, bro. You acted like you wasn't with us for 2 nights straight in Brooklyn.
He said, where's my invite?
Yo, you acted like you wasn't with us for 2 nights straight in Brooklyn. Are you serious? You definitely get the invite.
And you not new. I done did a whole Rising Stars tournament right before COVID.
Rising Star?
For new players where they don't have to play against the killers.
He did.
Yes. For newer players where they don't have, and we were banned.
This is your podcast, so I'll let you slightly disrespect me like that.
Don't act like we don't welcome new players to come in the game.
New players?
Yes.
You call me a new player?
No, you can come in the game. You're not new. Hold on. Do you?
Well, so you're gonna go in there and scrub and smoke everybody.
Hold on. Wait. Do you have Marvel on PS3 or Xbox?
No, I don't. No, I haven't.
So what are you talking about? Because that's where everybody's been playing.
I can play with Drew. I can play with Drew locally. That's all I need.
So play with Drew.
But I want to clap you though.
I mean, that's not happening. Last time we was in PR on your hometown, I might add.
That was in my stick.
Oh, okay. You had a nice powdery donut there.
That man OS is juggling, boy.
Nah. You know, I was busy. I was drinking. You know.
I hate you, man. You're in your own island. I get it. The weather's different.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know, it was hot. I was up in Connecticut a lot. It was hot down there. You know.
I hear you, man.
The Hawaiian shit was sticking to me. You know.
No, but look. I don't want to be vilified, but I'm gonna just speak. You know, the truth when I'm on this podcast. You know what I mean? But bottom line, like, the players of this generation, my hat goes out to them. Terrific players. I'm never gonna take nothing away from them because you know what? This is their era. So that's like me talking about this era versus Bill Russell's era. You know what I mean? Like it's not taking nothing away from this era, but the rules are different. So if they play back then, you know, it might be a little different. You know what I mean? But same thing goes with the games. Bottom line is, we know it's a fact. It's a fact, not an opinion. We know game developers made the games more easily accessible for new players to get in and play at a certain level. And I quote, Seth Killian even said this, and Combo Fiend. They made these games easier, more accessible for new players to get into them and be able to compete, because obviously the more players you have, so you can sell more games and more people will compete in the tournament. It's not a bad thing necessarily, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It is the truth.
To be honest, like the only thing that I really just to add up to what you're saying, Chris, is what I'm scared of for people, you know, in terms of making the game more accessible, is the fact that it's killing the creativity more and more as we move on. That's what I'm ultimately worried about. You know what I mean? I play a lot of fighting games, and I'm a lab monster. Like, I actually break stuff down, and one of the first things I look for is the difficulty of a character or like a combo, whatever the case is, right? As I'm playing more of these games, it is becoming easier to do things. Like, bottom line, you know what I'm saying?
And he has probably top 3 best execution I've ever seen in my life.
You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm worried about, the creativity. That's why I give a lot of credit to Dragon Ball. There's a lot of creativity there. You know what I mean? Especially now with the new update. Strive at first, I felt like it didn't have that much creativity, but you could create the creativity off of momentum and defense and stuff like that. It still doesn't have that in terms of what we was used to. You know what I mean? But it's still there. That's why I went to play Milia. People were saying, Yipes plays Milia because it's a Marvel thing. That could be true, but I got into her more because she can be creative. You know what I mean? And she fits my style. So like when I got into Street Fighter 5, like no offense to anybody, you know what I mean, that picked up the game, whatever the case is, I stuck with Nikali. Now, I don't play those type of characters. You know what I mean? I mean, sure, yeah, it's a 50-50 kind of character, whatever the case is, but I literally picked the character only because he could slam dunk the shit out of you with a command throw. I was like, man, that shit look cool. I picked him. He got the Super Saiyajin hair and all that shit. But, you know, I played it. I was like, man, this is kind of pretty entry level. This is easy. You know what I mean? You just wait, go for your frame traps. If they respect your frame traps, command throw, good game, peace out. You know what I mean? But even though that's like a constant strategy in fighting games when it comes to like a grappler character, it was just so easy just to set up. You know what I mean? So that's literally all I'm worried about in fighting games. I don't want the creativity to die. Like I don't want people to just solely focus on making it easier, and then it just kills the fun out of fighting games. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. That's just how I look at it. Like the difficulty, we could talk about difficulty.
I love Waltz. I love this guy. Hold on. What's your favorite 3D game?
I think there's a very important part that you guys are missing in this, and even in your guys' introduction to fighting games, right? Is that let's use Super Turbo as an example here, right? So we think of Street Fighter 2, we immediately think of Super Turbo, we think of these crazy one-frame hit link combos ending in Super, like, oh my god, right? But we forget that the original game is Street Fighter 2. And Street Fighter 2, the epitome of combo Street Fighter 2 is like there's shit we know now, right? Like, you know, like CPS 1 links, but back then you gotta jump in a sweep. Maybe someone in the arcade knew to do medium kick fireball. Well, I don't know about you, but me growing up and my little grubby hands was on top of the cab looking up, I used to see Blanca Ball going, woo! And we forget that in these continuous iterations, and like we got to remember how many years we were playing Street Fighter 2 till it gets to that point. We learned these complexities of combos, right? And the complexities of the game. If we talk about when players are now talking about Strive, for instance, right? And they point to plus R, and I'm like, are you forgetting the origin of that game is actually X?
Yeah.
To double X, to reload, to slash, to accent core, to R. Plus R, and like the various versions to where we're at now, and you have like all that time in between stretch and going on for these games. They're going forward until we get to the level of nuance that they're at now, that we play them like all those degrees of execution, right? We even look at Street Fighter 5 to like from when it starts till now, which was a rough launch, right? To where it's at now. Like now you got like micro walk combos, you got like the nuance of the game, and it takes time to get to that point. And the developers are right. You do have to lessen the barrier for people can come in and get access. Arcades are gone, and I think it's time we all come to that realization. Like
I've been melted.
Yeah, on you know. But for a lot of other people, right? That the arcade mode, that's gone. So there is no longer you go up, you watch two guys play before you put your quarter up, but you watch and like, okay, I kind of see it, right? and now like they have a tutorial mode. The game's being explained to you, it's telling you what to do.
Yeah.
And it's telling you how the game plays out. You know, do this and that. I think we see a lot of games now come out. They have mission modes that tell you how to do combos, right? There's some there's paths out there. They teach you the mechanics of the game, and I think a part of what happens is that like these tools and resources were not in games earlier on, and I think part of the thing is that we give a stigma to, well, the developer now tells you how to do this stuff. It's now put in front of you. It's now easier, a shortcut in access, like. It's like knowing the screen flash is the moment that you could do an input in Marvel 2. That's like knowledge that's gated, and a lot of people don't even really know that, or like that little minute gated knowledge is gone, and it's now given to people. And I think that's a part that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, right? Counter hit combos, for instance, right? Street Fighter 5 highlights to you counter hit combos in a huge way. You get, in some cases, a crush counter. It'll put them in the air. It'll crumple them onto the ground, right? that's not exactly available to you back then. You kind of did it. It was part of your little guard string. They got hit by you. You got rewarded with the combo, and it was like a flow you followed. And what we're viewing as that the developers are making the game easier. Like, and I will counter and say, no, the developers are getting better at making games because they can look at what was the success, what didn't work back then, what works now, why did people stop playing the game. We want the game to give us so much, right? We want the game to give us esports, we want the game to give us DLC, we want the game to give us story mode. Well, we have to keep people playing the game for a longer period of time and to stay invested, for all these things can come from it.
But I don't think that was the problem. I think people were playing these games for a long time.
Get turned off.
People stopped when a newer game came out.
And I tell this story to all my young bucks all the time. I remember one time I drove down to New Jersey. A shout to Arturo, because Arturo was there. Tinchy was also there. Tinchy, Arturo, Tony B came with me.
Tony.
And I think Zidane was there for like the Guilty Gear tournament. I went there for Third Strike. There's also Tekken 5. Holy crap. Actually, there's a funny story about that. That's that GDT at Fort Lee, that place that no longer exists. I get there, there's like fucking like 10, 12 people for Third Strike, and I remember like looking at my boy that came with me, like, holy shit, there's a lot of people here. I hope we do good. Fucking 12 people, 12-person bracket. I don't know, mad as hell. There's only 12 people for a tournament. And it was just a different time. And our comparison, and sometimes our rose-tinted glasses that we look back at our memories, is like, were there a lot of people playing? I don't think so. The scene was a lot smaller in comparison to the other scenes that progressed past us naturally, quickly. If we do a comparison to Quake, for instance, if we look at the timelines of like Quake 3 popularity, which is around 99, and we look at like Marvel 2. Games that launch at the same time.
That's with those games,
right? You have a game that's easily available at home. There is no difference in ports. It's the same. Everyone's playing on the same, and they can all play each other. Mm-hmm. They're using this game to talk to each other. They network. They coordinate. They get together. We see events. We see leagues birthed out of these tournaments that they can play online from their home. They're already 2 steps ahead of us in the evolution. Mm-hmm. Right? You have CPL, which is dead. All these other scenes and terms that are long gone. You get Fatality, you get Thresh, and all these like those old.
Shouts to Fatality.
Throwback. All old school, like the original. I remember like he won the Ferrari, and I was like, oh my god, he won a Ferrari.
About Fatality?
Yeah. He won the Ferrari, right? And we think about how those scenes came to be was because their de facto platform and all the stuff they were playing was already there. It was delivered to them in their home. Mm-hmm. We were still going through, console, arcade, the game's not fully optimized. There's no real way for the publisher to engage with us. There's no way to talk to us. We're playing a console game. The console doesn't connect to the internet. It doesn't update. There's no in-game bulletin board. Mm-hmm. There's no, forums back then. Who the fuck those were, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the platforms that use communication that were available to computer games due to, and this is holy shit, circling back to what I want to talk to originally, financial disparity, is like easily available to them. Obviously, if you're playing Quake 3 back then on a computer, you had some guap, right?
Absolutely.
You had some guap. If you're playing online,
at an optimal level too.
If you had broadband back in '99, your house had some guap. If they've had the infrastructure in place for that to happen. And those things were easily allow themselves for the money to come together and to make things happen because there's already big investment. People who make graphics cards, computers, etc. It's like, hey, let's encourage these guys to keep playing. What were the big investors into fighting games? Mastix. I remember that lady used to pick up her phone to take your order.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And then your other
Three
big
times.
Then your other big investor into that was like Dreamcast themselves used to say the Green Goblin. Mm-hmm. Goat stick right there, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's just like a lot of things to look at is just like the money being spent, the money that's being reinvested back into it, and the money needed to access it. The investments for people to get to play competitive computer games, they could play at home. They're already doing competitive online tournaments back in '99. We're still arguing over, they're playing for hundreds of dollars and being flown places. They're meeting up for QuakeCon down at Grapevine in Texas, and we're like still arguing over like a $20 pot split at the arcade cap. And when we talk about like this ease of accessibility and ease of entrance for people to come in, and now we're expanding these communities, we're taking this base. It's an unfortunate sign of the times that we stayed playing, like Street Fighter 5 for me should have been the game we switched to PC, like as community as a whole. But now, you know what I'm seeing now because of COVID, everyone's like switching to PC. Like I don't know what that spells for consoles going forward, but like everyone wants to play Strive on PC.
Steam Decks is on deck. They pulling up like.
Yeah,
it's switching up.
So, and I think that's good. That's not a guaranteed thing that those people are going to invest into the scene, right?
But it's tough
because that puts a burden on like people like myself, right? That's like massive investments we have to now do, and we need assistance to even get to that point.
So why do you think people are preferring the PC versions?
Superior. It's easy.
Yeah, man. Low latency.
It's just a whole bunch of things, right? You know what?
But do you think that can't be fixed with console? Like,
it's not that. It's more than that, right? So, one of the big things I explained to people, I did a talk at GDC. I'm gonna toot my own horn. Shout out to Pat the Flip, he helped me do that, and my boy Pablo from Twitch Mexico, who did the talk with me. And one of the bigger things I talked about when we talk about finances and how people get to be in competitive scenes and whatnot is like people's just their needs, their basic financial needs, right? So if you're in a developing country and you're starting to get some more money in, what do you need first, a computer or a phone? You need a phone. That's why, and we see in certain countries, mobile gaming is flipping huge, right? And then in those countries also where mobile games are huge, we start seeing things like free-to-play, low-end PC games also be used, like Free Fire, right? Call of Duty Mobile, huge in India, huge in, it's supposed to be huge in India, like Southeast Asia. We see something like Free Fire is huge in Brazil. And that's not extended like insult to those countries, but like gotta be a little honest. There's some economic disparities, right? They throw a massive tour with like 140 grand. It's like a big deal. They come into they're coming to a natural progression because esports is readily accepted in Brazil. I don't know the status of it in India. I kind of like keep loose tabs on that. I'm more tuned into Latin America. But when it comes to the US, like right now for fighting games, we kind of have to do that pivot, and the PC port is better. USB bus on a PC is going to have generally lower latency. And what I was sorry to get to that before I derailed myself, is that the PC, when you're Johnny Donuts, you're at home, you finally get a good gaming PC. That means you can play the game, you could be on Discord, you can meet new people, you could talk, you could do on YouTube.
Yeah.
You could
I know.
You could put out a video. Yo, I need some help real quick. I understand that the PlayStation has the share button. They got bruh, hop on the Discord, Carl. Yo, check out my stream real quick. Yo, what am I doing wrong here?
Yes.
Think, the PC is more powerful, allows them to share information and resources more quickly. It's also a bigger gate to just community building. Like Discord's a huge tool right now, right? Twitter's trash. As much love I want to give them, I see Facebook kind of getting like a resurgence. People have some lockdown Facebook groups, right? Because some people don't want to be on Discord like that. And I respect that. In Latin America, WhatsApp groups are still.
Yeah, what is that, dude?
It runs on any phone.
It's crazy. When I go, they do it in France.
That makes sense.
France as well.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? France
and
as well.
I think it doesn't get hit with data charges and allows them it's basically like texting, right?
That's crazy.
So it's like just these things you just gotta keep in mind is that if a person can have a PC and their PC can run the game they want to play, but the PC lets them do all these other things. Why the fuck am I gonna connect the console to the damn router?
And mind you,
PC?
just to add on.
I think the only issues is. Well, the only issue that I would potentially have is just the input latency. I really don't care about all the other stuff. But if you're telling me, like, okay, this game has 5 to 6 frames of lag on a console, but then on PC it's like 1 to 2. It's like, if you're a competitive gamer, like, why would you want to play on a 5 to 6 when you can play on a 1 to 2? You know what I mean?
Money.
Yeah, bro. It's
everyone. No.
I get that, but that's what I'm like. Is that not a problem that consoles can fix? You don't think so?
Maybe not. I'm not a developer.
Well, I will say this, like,
So why do you think they choose to do it like that? You think it costs them more money to lower the input?
Maybe it's a limitation of the console. Maybe it's a consequence of having to port it to
that's
do
tough for me to feel like that, like now in 2021. Like I feel like consoles are more powerful than they've ever been.
that they should be ahead of the game already.
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's what it is right now with so for example, Strive just dropped a patch, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but apparently PS4 Pro and PS5 they lowered the latency.
That's one frame.
One frame, right? But they was able to do it, right? They can't go back on the old PS4 and do it. Apparently, they still trying to figure it out.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
It's
But just to give you an example.
Yeah, no, but there's like just nuances and levels to that like are foreign to us, right? A lot of these cases, what was like the first, like I think the Xbox 360 for at one point became for what, for everyone I knew, basically an entertainment center because it played Netflix, it played all this other stuff, right?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I remember them days. I had what?
So
had everything on that Xbox, boy.
So
I did too.
One of the big selling points, and I don't know if you remember this or not, when we came to the Xbox One, PS4 era, was these enhanced multimedia capabilities. So these USB buses, these Bluetooth receiving devices, have to take in more like inputs. And if I'm not mistaken, only on the newer DualShock 2 pads can you fully disable Bluetooth. Even when it's connected, it's still talking via Bluetooth. And that's like something we encounter later on, where we tell people make sure you remove all your disconnect all your Bluetooth devices.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because it causes.
I didn't know that.
Because the console's still like listening for it to like reconnect, so it's causing us other additional input into the console.
Random slowdowns.
So there's like levels to that. The PC, no. So and the PC has its own problems, right? There's like USB profiles that it creates when a device is plugged in and out. But a lot of the PC stuff, for like a term that people say isn't achievable, it's all achievable and doable. Money makes everything doable, right? It's it's not gonna be Johnny Donuts bracket runner anymore, right? It's gonna be more of an based IT professional that's gonna have to like help set up and deploy these systems. But we're not there yet because the environments where a lot of this stuff takes place aren't ready to host like PC lands all of a sudden, right? They're not there yet.
But I agree. Like I don't think that's realistic. I'm not like saying I don't feel like everything should be PC. Like I'm a console guy. It's just that hey, let's make the console optimal. That's all. I don't care to have to be able to do a whole bunch of things at the same time while I'm playing the game, but let the game I'm playing be optimal. You know what I mean? Like don't lag me out, especially if I'm playing a fighting game where I have to react to certain things. And when it makes a difference between anti-airing a jump and not anti-airing a jump, those things make or break tournaments sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's tough. That's tough.
You know it's tough. Deadlines. It's tough. Production costs. It's tough.
Right.
Developer costs.
Yeah.
It's tough. Marketing.
Yeah.
Add all of that on top of that.
Those things are tough, and sometimes us as a competitor, we're such a small part of it.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I'm not trying to like belittle your concerns or say they're small in the grand scheme of things, right? Because that's not true. But like I said before, there's so many things that go into the console that good example, right? If you have the original PlayStation 5, you bought one of the first series PlayStation 5s, right?
Okay.
Versus to one that came
put
out
me on,
now.
because I'm about to get one, so let me hear this.
To a PlayStation 5 that comes out now, they have two different heat sinks. The heat sink that comes on the one now is half the size of the one that came out originally. So now I've read, now there's like allegedly issues. I was reading about the early tale of them overheating.
Oh, the new ones?
Yes. So when you think about like the older PlayStations, right? These things get like small changes over time. It's not as simple as like they're all the same. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even all the same. They have like small nuances to them that like beyond me and you, right? Because it's like we're not looking at it and trying to like take it apart because remember, it has to play games, play videos, play media, be a Bluetooth receiving device. It has to handle your internet, whatever. It ages. It's not easily open. You can't easily open it and clean it. People take these up, pick them up, throw them around. Your computer stays like right there. And so like a console's life and like what it goes through is like very different. Not to mention like all the upgrades and updates you push out to it. You don't exactly reformat a PS4.
Yeah.
Bro, the fact, look, so I've been on the PC for quite some time. You know what I mean? And the difference is just that noticeable.
Yeah.
Just with everything. Just the quality of having the fun with it. Obviously, we don't have to do too much shit. You know what I mean? And you can always upgrade. You got the same shell, just always upgrade it, and you'll be up to date. It don't even have to be something crazy.
There's different levels of needs. If you're playing at home, your PC needs are going to be different than a guy that needs to bring it and have considerations that like 16 different people are going to be plugging in and out of it. Like there's just different wants and needs, right?
So I see you guys playing also on a laptop version.
Yeah.
Is that just as crispy?
Hell yeah.
Sometimes.
I got a 144 hertz. It's a 3 ms, but I still don't feel the lag compared to the console.
So like, but that's what I mean. If I don't know, I mean, if they can get it right on a laptop, you would think they can get it right on a PS5.
Listen, just bring Arturo on here. Arturo could break it down for you, right?
Shit,
Arturo put me on about the monitors, boy.
144 hertz. Oh, 240. I think he's on 240, right?
My man said, yeah. He said, I'm playing Street Fighter 5 different than everybody.
You know, it's funny.
He said,
remember that tournament I was talking about earlier? And I said I went there like 12 people. Like, oh shit, I better do because a lot of fucking people here, right? Arturo's at that tournament. We were playing Tekken 5, and I was playing Jack 2. I was playing Jack 5 against him. I did like the down forward 2, the launcher, and he blocked it, and then he did it again. I just did it again, and he just laughs. He's like, you know that's punchable, right? Do it again. I just looked. I was like, why not?
Yeah, that's a sinister ass laugh, boy. That shit is sinister, boy.
He said, you know that's punishable.
He said, you know that's punchable. I said, why not?
All right, man. So let me answer this question, Walter. So, obviously, you guys have seen the past No Frill podcast episode for this season. Zach Cattleman was here. So, if y'all don't know, they are a powerhouse duo that pretty much runs East Coast Throwdown, multiple events, if you will, multiple IPs. I see what y'all be doing. You know what I'm saying? And y'all pretty much hold it together. But what I like about you guys is y'all do this with a purpose. It's not like get it done, go to the next one, get it done, go to the next one. You're always constantly growing and finding ways to keep, not only for people to being involved, but it can evolve with them, and it can make it more entertaining for them. You know what I'm saying?
staff is growing.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, what's the ultimate goal for East Coast Throwdown? As one of the many things that you do, but obviously in the FGC.
You know, I don't know. I really don't.
And that's when it happens all naturally. You see it as
it goes. I really don't know, right? It's like, you know, now it's like, now I have like some ideas, some wants, right? And you just first off, I stay mobile, right? I stay agile. You gotta stay agile. And once again, I'm thankful that like me, Zach, you know, we're building like a small legion of people to help us with stuff, right? Is very receptive to the things we want to do and pivot. Like COVID hit, we couldn't do ECT. We pivoted quickly to a studio show, right? It wasn't the cleanest, but we had some fun. We're doing some content stuff. We're bringing that back, and we're staying on the lookout what else can be done. And I take a good look at other things that are going on, like Summit. Summit's a very good example. I take a look at other studio shows that happen, not just for like fighting games. Summit. Yeah, Summit House is a great thing, right? And it's really taking a look at what everyone else is doing and what can be done and what can make everyone feel safe, but what else could be cool, what else could be great. It's like, because there's some things you can like, there's some things you don't like, and how can you make it your own? Like, anyone can make a t-shirt, but can you make it your t-shirt? It's it's and then that's really where I think that's real. We're just trying to be different, just trying to be like ECT proper. It just continue just to make ECT like stand on its own. It's like, I want people to talk with pride that ECT is their regional event, and that's like the event they want to go to. That's their can't miss event. The ECT drops coming up is gonna be fucking hot. You know what I would fucking love? ECT's on the merch drops on StockX. It's on like fashion. It's on some shit. Like, it's on Complexes covering it. That's like a pie in the sky dream, right? But these are the things I want. But sadly, because I feel like I'm so spread out, I don't really I don't really like. That's not like a really end goal for me. My end goal is to just empower other people that don't have the resources or the tools to like really do these things. Like actually, one of the biggest things I'm really proud of having worked on recently is not even ECT. It's actually Liga Latina.
Okay.
Working with like combat club guys, working with DJ Top Siete, right? That guy does a lot. He does so much. He puts like LATAM like big time on his back, right? And working with like Ixel, trying to highlight the players not from those regions, because, and actually this is a very good point for a lot of people is understanding when you talk about FGC, esports, then now authenticity, is that I still see people that are getting stuck in the whole martyr phase where like, they're looking to external sources to help them. And I'm like, dude, when I started running terms, I went to the pizzeria that was next door and I said, yo, we need to work out of this deal because I got like 200 people here and they're eating here. So we need to, we need to come to an understanding. And it's mostly just like, telling them like how they can become more marketable, more sellable. Not everyone has to sell merch. That's not for fucking everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can make a little whatever t-shirt, but you don't have to either, right? There's other ways. Maybe, you want to have like on-site joystick repairs. Not, shouts to Paradise. I love seeing them. I hate it when I'm not there early and then they get backed up for the whole weekend. You're like, I got fucking. But it's like, where there's a will, there's a way. But it's like finding your way. And sometimes we are more privileged up here and we need to loan the hand down there for those scenes to grow. And I think that's going to be the future, especially like online net play, and like that's like beyond the East Coast, right? Is trying to find ways to help African scene grow, trying to find a way to help like Mexico's part of North America, god damn it. Mexico needs a part of more fucking North American events. That's fucking fair. Mm-hmm. Helping Dominican Republic is putting forth together so much work and effort.
Facts.
And it's how do we include them, right? How do we make sure they're included? I feel bad they were selected. They were going to those Capcom Cup. Unfortunately, COVID put an end to that. I hope that's not the end of it. I hope something still happens there. Mono does something great with First Attack. Brazil Game Show down in Brazil is massive. You still have Festa Game. There's like so much stuff, but we don't know about it up here, right? Yeah. We just don't know. But there's so much happening, and that's just them. We're not even talking about all the stuff that goes on to Europe. I was like feeling burned out on fighting games. I think I was at Versus Fighting. I was at Versus Fighting, so shout outs to them. And I got like, and there was like something about the tournament that like just reminded me, like, he said like that authenticity, like just that very like grassroots powered event. Like then I got like reinvigorated because I was like kind of feeling kind of burned out, right? And it's like it's like I can't really stay focused on ECT because and I feel like I'm behind the pack. I feel like personally ECT we're behind the pack. We're doing a lot of stuff, right? We're not CLO, we're not combo breaker level. I feel we do well, right?
I feel like y'all very close though.
I don't. But here's the thing: I don't want to be combo breaker. I don't want to be CLO.
There you go. There you go.
I don't want to be like them. I want to do my own thing.
There you go.
Right? There you go. And props to Rick. I actually became very good friends with Rick during the course of COVID. So I talk with him like every day.
Rick is a great guy.
Yes, he is.
He's a great guy, And I drive him nuts. I drive him and Zach nuts with the crazy ideas I get. Be thankful I don't message you guys more often. Right now I'm driving him crazy with this idea I got. I'll tell you guys after the podcast because I don't want to say it here that it doesn't happen. Right. But I'm going to make it fucking happen.
Good NDA.
I'm going to make it happen. But it's right. It's like where I see East Coast throwdown. I don't know. It's like a kite in the wind. Let's see where it takes us, right?
I just look at it like this, man. When it comes to East Coast tournaments, and I'm pretty sure Chris can agree with this. Obviously, shout outs to Jet Fee. You feel me? Like seeing it from ECC going over to ECT. That was pretty much like passing the torch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and before us, obviously, like, listen, you can't cut out John and Joe. That's like
no, absolutely not. This is
I'm getting there. Yeah, that's a void they filled because ECC. Fee went on to another phase of his life. Todd went on to another phase of their life.
Todd Wire, shout out to Todd.
And John and Joe. Street Fighter 4 came out. John used to run tournaments out at I forget, it's like something castle out in Long Island.
Castle. I know what you're talking about.
Dude, I took the ferry there once, and like I brought him some TVs. Well, remember they ran Evo East and they said we could keep all the TVs? I kept like a bunch of them. And I drove over there with them and I loaned them the TVs. I loaned them a couple TVs. Like one broke, like one fell, and like just. And he's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, I don't care about this. Like whatever. I was like, one less I have to carry over the ferry. And, you know, those dudes did good, right? But they just so much happens. Like running in a tournament is hard, and they were very important to the FGC, right?
Yes, they were.
Running in a tournament is hard. Running a tournament for multiple years is hard. Running a tournament when you're not making money is harder. Running a tournament when you're losing money is harder still.
Yeah.
And a lot of tournaments, I can tell you right now, they are losing money. They're, you know, and it's a lot of goodwill. And oh my God, I remember this conversation once somebody had with me. They confronted me at an event that I ran. And he said I was a horrible person because I was making money from the event. And I said, you know how much it costs to rent this ballroom?
I can't stand when people think like that.
People not get it.
That was years ago, but he was like pestering me the whole event. He made me like I was like, are you trying to make me feel bad, dude? I was like,
because you're making money.
I didn't even, you know, and to be honest, I didn't make money.
When you watch your sports on TV, do you say they're horrible for making money on the event?
What he saw in my hand was
Stupid, man.
What he saw in my hand was like the entry fee, right? Because I had it in my pocket, like the pot, like all the pot money was in my pocket. So he saw it. He was like accusing me of like having all this money. I was like, dude, I had to pay everything up front. There is no money.
When you watch TV, you get mad because somebody's making money off of that.
And
that's just a bit.
And here's the thing, right? Like, and it's like when we talk about like where people to and from where they go, right? And like I still run my weekly. I have good help from Frank Rivera, helps me run that. T3, you've met T3 before, Tommy 2 times, you know. I've helped. I try to encourage the newer players of Connecticut to be like they're now the new OGs, right? They were new to me, they're now the new OGs, and they have a new wave of players coming after them. You know, you got Free J up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have
that's Free J.
You have Dom.
Shout out to Dom.
Dom's out there. You know, these guys, Isaac, who just got second at Summer Jam Power Rangers.
Okay.
Slash Shaq. These guys are now like the OGs. You have the new G's coming in, the new players. And, you know, that's their responsibility. But it's like one thing I try to teach them is like, hey, well, you guys give money for the weekly. That, you know, you got to pay electricity. Electricity costs a lot of money. if a console breaks, we got to replace it. And they break. Dude, I have some consoles that are like being held together by the Spirit of the Lord, you know?
Yeah, man.
Oh, God.
It's, and there's just some small things to all that, but, you know, just to, like, try to, like, stay somewhat on point. ECT, I don't know.
I like ECT a lot, man.
Maybe an asteroid, you know, maybe the ice caps melt and the water comes up 5 feet. So it's going to be, you know, North Atlantic throwdown on a boat.
Oh my God.
But where there's a will, there's a way. There will always be a throwdown. There will always be an ECT some way, shape, or form. We can't do an ECT proper. So this year we're doing the pit. We have the invitationals lined up.
Nice.
I'm super stoked for them. You know, we have the 4-way Mortal Kombat 11 character draft. That way, you know, people have to win with all their characters, you know. Yeah, the Street Fighter 5 one that's gonna be. You know, we got Punk coming in, we got Brian F coming in. You know, we got Art, old man, young man, you know. Real life Zeku.
For real. Had to drop him down. If he loses, it's the age. If he wins, it's the hurts.
It's the hurts, right?
Hurts Turo.
Hurts Turo. We got Idom. You can't have a Street Fighter 5 invitation not have
Champ.
Right? The champ. We got Shine, last year's ECT Invitational champion. We got Hoji, who took second place. Shout out to Marvista. Marvista beat Idom last year first round.
We was there.
I was like,
we was commentating that.
I was like, really?
With Dry U, I think it was too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then we got Prophet. You guys might see Prophet a lot more on Twitter.
Urian and Gil.
Urian and Gil, right? And he actually got, I want to say he got 7th, maybe 9th at the last ECT we had.
Prophet's dope.
Prophet's a good player, right? So I'm super stoked to have them all be a part of it. And we're playing for $4,000. You know, and listen, that invitation has the storylines that tell itself, right? You know, we might get the chance to finally see, you know, Punk play Item after so long offline in person.
Yo, that's fire. I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
that's ill.
You know, there's been some words exchanged. You know, when you're finally, I want to see Art Brian play. You know, I want to see if Hoji can replicate the success of last year, because Hoji be grinding, yo. I want to see if Prophet can be the new Marvisto this year, just ruin the bracket. He's like, you thought you would see these matches?
Marv was on his shit. Marv was on his shit.
You thought you were seeing these matches? Psych. You know, the Guilty Gear is going to be hype. You know, this weekend at Super TSB, we're determine the 7th entrant, you know, whoever wins. But you already got Sonic Fox. You already got, oh my God, I'm going to blank on some names now. Shit. I got to look at the graphic.
It's all right. Go for it.
You know, we already got some big names there. Oh my God. Zach, don't be mad at me.
It's all right, man.
Wait till I hopefully put the graphic in here. I'm like drawn up.
Oh, now do it the new way, baby. Hit that info right here. Look, bam. And then go all the way. You got all the media. Look.
Oh.
There you go. Tech. There you go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, there we go. Now I can zoom in right here. Yeah, old man. There, oh, we got Tempest. How can I forget that?
Tempest,
dude?
I see you. SeaWorld.
Who the hell is that? Oh, Fame. Oh yeah, Fame.
And this is in person?
In person. Vaccine, mandatory to be able to enter and participate. Thank you to the mayor for the key to New York City. We got Lord Knight. Lord Knight's Millie is looking nice.
Fire.
Lord Knight.
We got obviously Sonic Fox, so I mentioned. We got Super Noon.
Fire.
Right? We have Shine. Now, Shine, people don't know, but Shine's been like the, you know, he's been eating that ECT stimulus. You know, he's been doing those $500
every Sunday
throwdowns. He's been
ECT
my man.
Stimulus.
He told us that ECT.
That's fire. That's part of it.
The graphic, yeah, it's $4,000, right?
Look at the price tag. That's kind of fire.
So the winner of Super TSB this weekend is gonna be the 7th invitee, right? We got Hotashi flying up. Hotashi's flying up for Super TSB this weekend.
Woo! Hotashi, boy.
Now you wanna know what's crazy? I told you Punk is coming for the SF5. Punk entered the LCQ.
So imagine if that will run back and get to the final.
Dude,
I'm praying to God it works out. Like, no offense to Tempest, Lord Knight. Don't let us forget that. We want to see. Nah, we're just joking, man.
Actually, I want to see Lord Knight's Milia. You know,
I'm a big fan of his Milia for sure.
I want Sonic Fox to fuck everyone up, but I want Shine to win because Shine's been holding down community throwdown.
Shine is grimy with Potemkin.
And there's some other stuff we got going on too, right? We're gonna have like a Melted Blood Invitational.
For the new one?
Yeah. It's gonna be fresh. It's gonna be fresh. Yeah, we trying to dig up some of the old gods in that game. Lord Spooky. You know, people forget Vic, who was a multi-blood god. Hopefully we get Czar. We don't know yet, right? I think Zach's still fleshing out those names. And I didn't really touch on the Mortal Kombat Invitational enough, and that's like a damn shame because we got Mighty and Just. You guys may not know this guy, but Mighty and Just is like. When ESL was doing all the online stuff, he was winning that. He just took 4th at Summer Jam. He's doing well. He's like one of those guys. He was actually at the We Play Invitational. They flew him out there. He was placing well in multiple tournaments as well. He's like he's winning a lot. He's doing really well. Gur, come on.
Classic.
New York, Immortal Kombat, and Gur, okay?
Great player.
The nicest man on earth.
Forever.
He's all smiles until he sits down. Oh my God, we got K7 show off. Right?
K7 is nice. Boy.
Now here's the thing, right? So K7 is gonna be at the invitation for MK, but he's also in that LCQ.
He's hot right now.
So that LCQ on site for ECT is going to be Fuego, and that's pending he doesn't win Super TSB first, right? Who knows? Because he just 300 plus people at Summer Jam, right? And we got Splash.
Damn, pulling up. Okay, the peppery one. That Splash, peppery Splash.
No. Splash is a Mortal Kombat player.
Now
Splash is gonna be commentating our Tekken Invitational.
Okay.
We're doing that Anakin challenge. We got a lot of the young bloods stepping up to Anakin, except for Fat. Fat's not young.
Yeah.
And GM? Jim's?
No.
Jim's
Jim.
I was gonna say, okay.
No, but we got another new young blood player. I think Mock is one of them who just took second at Summer Jam. I am like drawing blank on so many names right now because with everything going on. Excuse me. So with that being said, a lot of ECT stuff going on, but it's like we're opening a little bit, very cautious, right? Vaccine. I gotta beat it to death because somebody asked me, like, I was like, are you crazy? I was like, vaccine, mask mandatory. I think we're still doing temperature checks too. So obviously all the steps to be spaced out. It's just the way a lot of people, we're all in it together, and the quicker we all realize this, the better, right? And we don't want things to grind to a standstill. It's just that the interim things are to be like more restrictive, more safeguards in place. But like, what does that mean, right? You know, you and how is this going to change events going forward, right? Like, especially with games that have bad neck. Mortal Kombat, great neck code. But how is that going to change things going forward for like events and people? Like, it's like, fuck, I got to go out here. I got to like deal with the elements, the virus, sickness, you know, physical security at an event. Talking about me, I show up, I go double limb. That's crazy. I paid $70 to sign up. I paid, I don't know, $450, $500 for a hotel room, not counting gas, tolls, planes. I paid all this money to get to an event. I paid all this money for registration, all the hours to grind. I just lost 2 games. That's it. I'm done. So I think right now that's like a major burden that's like the challenge, right? That's gonna face like TOs going forward. Are we gonna start now? How we're gonna answer that? How we're gonna make things more cost effective? And when we talk about like grassroots sponsors, corporate assistance, that's like the big challenge now, right? Like, I can't ask these are like some of the things, like a lot of the big questions people aren't asking themselves, right? Like, even for instance, you ask someone who ran brackets for you, right? They ran 2 pools, right? Let's say 6 hours. Paid them federal minimum wage with like $750. Being nice, right? Is that more than what it is? What's minimum wage right now? I don't fucking know.
I don't even know.
Nah, it went up. It went up.
Like 8 something?
Nah, it's up.
7 something?
No.
I think it's like
For regular it's like 15.
15, yeah. Way over.
Okay.
McDonald's was get 15 an hour now.
Okay, if McDonald's paid 15 an hour, right? So you talk about for 6 hours of work, that person should be entitled to $60.
Well,
I don't know. I'm just saying, there's like just all these things that like just got to go into effect. It's the challenges. The TOs now have challenges upon them. Like, and then I got to compete against I could just stay home playing the tournament. I get the same thing. I lost twice and got nothing. I spent 0.
Yeah.
But not to cut you off, my brother. We've had a long day today.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the lookout. You'll know when things come out as the tournaments is pulling up on the ECT side of things. We did a lot of cool shenanigans and more shenanigans on the media side. So just keep an eye out on that. You might just get the debut of a great singer. I did not know this guy could sing.
Oh my God.
So this is gonna be pretty cool for you guys. But with that being said, Matrix, you have any last words?
Nah, man, it's been a pleasure. Today was awesome. Bacardi, it was a pleasure having you here, man. You're
Bacardi today.
You are extremely informative, you know what I mean? And like I'm always just locked in when I'm learning something new about something.
Same
You
here.
know what I mean?
I
appreciate you sharing all the knowledge and everything like that. You know what I mean? And just continue with the great work that you've been doing for the community forever, because you're one of the people that don't like the spotlight. You know what I mean? And like the amount of things that you do, you know what I mean? Sometimes it has to be known, but you're very rarely in the spotlight and never by choice.
It's funny. It's like if you look at a lot of great moments in fighting game history, you can see me like in the video.
I know.
You in there. But nah, just all and all I love, Walter. We appreciate you pulling up. For people that don't, this guy's pretty much family to us. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is what it is. Like, remember we always talk about, it's cool to see familiar faces that we've seen back in the past. You know what I mean? After not seeing them for a while, like we're pretty. consistently keeping in contact with this guy, and he's always giving us opportunities to actually, share that energy to everybody else that he knows that we can provide. You know what I mean? So it's just pretty dope, and he keeps us in the loop, which is love, and at the end of the day, and we always got his back. So we gave him a chair to chill here and talk to us for a bit. You know what I mean?
I'll be back. And it's always great to talk about familiar faces, and just for people out there at home who want to get involved with anything, don't let anything stop you. For context, one of my first memories I remember to this day, I was reading a game pro in 5th grade at Blackham Middle School in Bridgeport, Connecticut, reading about Jason Wilson, Alex Valle, Watson playing a Super Street Fighter 2 championship in Las Vegas. I've worked with these people, it's and I've even played against them. So it's
small world.
It is a small world, from reading the game pro to being the guy sneaking the article in there.
Well, all right. So you got any shout outs, man, before we close out?
Oh yeah, I'm like always. Like, first off, I got a shout out to all the homies holding it down internationally. That'd be Celtic Throwdown, that'd be Venality, that'd be Fighting Game Championship out in Poland. That's Combat Club holding it down for all of Brazil. All the people in Peru, Game Over, Bandits, Tigers, First Attack, anyone I'm missing else in Puerto Rico. There's like a ton of
Red Roosters.
Red Rooster, shouts to Mona, his whole clique down there. Big shouts to like Abu and his crew and everyone over like Bandai Namco just did the Dragon Ball World thing. I thought that thing was great, and I watched it. Right,
France, I see you.
Yeah, France is doing it big. Shouts to everyone, and doing everything everywhere from like. Shouts to Tong for Tampa Never Sleeps. I be watching St. Luke's. I love watching Marvel 3, right? Shout outs to Biggie, always giving me chances. Just did Summer Jam. He's still doing his thing. Shouts to everyone over at 10, also doing ICFC every week. Everyone's out there on their grind, and like not everyone's really like talk with each other much because everyone's just got like their head down. Everyone's like really focused on what they're doing. Big shouts to my homie Logan over in the UK. I'm a big fan of Logan. The first time I met Logan, I saw him at the after party Capcom Cup. I went up to him and like, yo, anyone ever tell you look like Logan Time with the Grime DJ?
And he was like,
yeah,
I am.
I miss that man's dry sense of humor. And there's just, shouts out to my homies in Connecticut. I gave them shouts before. Shouts to like Connecticut, always hold me down. Shouts to Aaron before. Much love, rest in peace to Nelson. I think about Nelson a lot.
Me too.
I think about the last encounter I had with Nelson was that final round. He was wearing that black leather jacket. It was hot as fuck, and he was wearing that black leather jacket
like a trash bag. I know what you're talking about.
Because he wanted to flex it.
That was my guy too, man. But I was shitting on him for weeks for that jacket.
And I felt bad because he was like, "Yo, you gotta come see me. You don't come through no more." And I was like, "Yes, I will." I never did. That's fucking haunted me ever since. And just shouts to everyone that's like doing what little they can do for their communities of doing it live. It doesn't matter you get like fucking 5 entrants for your ancient arcade game no one cares about. Like, if you got your 5 people playing Jackie Chan Fist of Fire, shouts to you for holding it down. Oh shit. Actually, shout outs to one of the best new upcoming TOs, Rod, running Outworld TV. Holy shit, I can't say proud. That guy, if you're a TO, you're at home and you feel burned out, you're feeling unmotivated, you guys need to tune into Outworld TV and let Rod reignite that passion in you for having love for a community, for running it. That man is like 5 cups of coffee and an 8 ball of Coke rolled into one of energy. It is frenetic. Like, even when I muted it, I still hear him screaming like
That's that good energy, boy.
It's such a blast of energy. I told him I had to mute it, and just like so many people, I just go down this list, right? Shout outs to players that try to take over and grow up their scenes, right? Like, Tekken Master tries doing Habibi Wars and other stuff in the Middle East. He tries to blow up the players in his region, right? Shout outs, if you're just doing anything for your community, just shout out to you. And there's just so many people miss, like Destroyer holds on Mortal Kombat X, Aquaman holds on Mortal Kombat 11, Injustice 2. Console Gaming League is behind so many of these guys trying to help them do their stuff. Nikki, Charbok, and Devil trying to keep. The list goes on. Oh, listen, I see you guys, and I may not interact with you. I may not see something. I may not hit like or retweet on your tweet because I don't see it in time. But I'm watching, and I see everyone doing the work, and props to you guys. All you Mortal Kombat dudes who are putting the scene on your back, like Slayer, Vendetta, Diddle, fucking, I don't know who fucking else. There's like fucking 30 a week, right?
Killers everywhere, man. But yo, Walter, you already know, man. It's the No Frillz podcast. We see you, man. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your Monday.
Oh, big shout out to my boy Travis. I can't forget Travis. I love Travis.
Love to Travis, man. Love to Travis. We already see you guys. Peace and love.